I mean, it looks like they've been setting up for it for a while. The center does look pretty good here, and Shaya's a big player of it. Shaya was a big player of this in the past. In fact, let me just go into his stats again, because he played a lot of it last year from my memory. Oh, and he played 3 games of it, actually, so not as much as I thought. Maybe I remember more from his LDL days. So, LGD have the Nautilus for frontline. And Nautilus does get pretty hard to kill, but WWE have such an insane draft. You know, they have long-range follow-up engage from so many different members. If a Varus ult hits or a Renata ult hits, it goes to hell very, very quickly. And LGD have very low tank stats. Maybe Sassy on the Ambassador can do something special, but it's definitely going to have to be a good game from LGD to make this trio draft work. They've given themselves a hard task. This is a hard task. Beijing. Oh, damn, that's a lot of empty seats, that. Petros. Asking, how did I get into casting in the first place? Well, it was lockdown in 2020. Just before that, my brother and I, and a friend of ours called Masked Swan, or Lexi, we all teamed together to think, hey, we want to get into esports because we like esports and we talk about it so much anyway. Let's give it a try. I did see them there. Didn't want to go for some cheeky trades there. Didn't have YCX behind him. Worth noting, YCX has the heal. But yeah, we basically, during lockdown, we had a bunch of free time and wanted to get into something. So we set up a fan broadcast for the LGL, which had no English coverage. And one thing led to another. Yesterday's LEC was a banger. It was an absolute blessing to be able to cast that one, I tell you. That's the kind of game you, that's the kind of series you wish for as a caster. And Printain spotted out. No hook level 1. Don't want to stack too heavily for that. Oh, blind hook coming in. Double Q. Vampire and Taeyeon do have some ability to trade back very hard, though. Good damage onto Shaya, which does tend to be more important. They're not getting access to the wave, importantly. No Aftershock now from YCX. They're going to lose a couple of minions worth of XP here. You do expect that versus Varus now. It's a good double tap, though, again. Heal popped early from YCX. Getting some souls for Shaya, taking some HP off of Vampire. Climber needs to... I don't know, what's the plan? Do you just soak waves? Let bot lane lose, but... You know, they don't have access to any farm right now. You kind of expect that versus Varus Renata. Monkey's clearing his way down bot side, Climber going top side. Could signal a level 4 dive towards bot side. Oh, good handshake on level 2. They don't have the heal anymore, remember. That's nasty as heck. That's very, very nasty. Do hit a level 2 now, but realistically, can't afford to get hit by that kind of handshake. Flash handshake now a real possibility of death. Climber spotted on top side, and now they know there's no jungler coming down to help them. Monkey gonna go down bot side. Potential of a dive. He will be spotted heading into bot river, though, so they know the danger is here. Like, I mean... LGD, as soon as you take that bad level 1 trade, I almost feel like someone has to change their path to come, whether that's jungle or an early teleport coverage on bot side. Climber is coming bot side, but I don't know if he's going to be there in time. The Blastgun's going to come over. He's not spotted yet. Spotted, well, Monkey's spotted now. Hook lands onto him. Ah, that could be a bit of a problem. Is he going to have to flash out? No. Climber interrupting his clear to save bot lane. That is important. Climber did come down bot side, ignored part of his clear. Now there might be a problem where he is stuck on bot side, not clearing out camps. Good trade again onto the bot lane. YCX taking the brunt of it this time. Over 10 CS down already. Very lane dominant. Bot scuttle going to be claimed by WE. Top side scuttle presumably claimed by Climber. Sassy taking an overheat trade from Cube. Not the nicest scenario there. Is Climber going to finish the scuttle crab? He is. Level 3, not level 4. Flash from Cube available. Wonder where Climber should have gone in with the Audacious Charge and then followed up with that. Now he is topside, though. And he's not here to cover bot side this time. The W misses. He needed that last embrace to hit. I mean, there is the potential of a bailout. Goes down. Kill goes to Shaya, so it's actually currently a 1-for-1, all things said and done. Shaya not unhappy with that, even with the Morning Mist. Not the Morning Mist, the other one. The W thingy. Last embrace, that's the one, even with that missing. Bit of a problem. So, what's happening here? Taeyeon rooted into turret. Ooh, not bad there. Two takes it. Aggro takes it on tower shot. Shire gets 2 in the dive. Maybe looking for a third. Where's the Q cooldown? Doesn't want to walk up. He gets it through the soul. Shire with a triple kill from the extended dive. Xiaoyu just broke WE's spine. The snipe through the mist was absolutely clutch. He used the soul on the ground to angle the Q. And WE, I don't know what's happened to them. Maybe it is just... hang on a second. Xiaoyu, buddy, might need to cleanse out of this one. Caught him with that handshake now. Does he have a Q cooldown? Xiaoyu, you gonna die here, buddy? Oh, Xiaoyu, after everything working out so well, is potentially gonna die to the arrow. He does. Xiaoyu, terrible recall spot, but at least he has 3 kills from the dive. So, this is after Climber is spotted on top side, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because they know he's up here because they got the initial dive before that. Tane takes aggro for reasons beyond me. Doesn't flash out of tower range. And Xiaoyu uses the mist on the floor to angle his Q. Gets that last tap. And the rest is, as they say, history. Comes back into lane now with Rectrix and the swiftness speed. So he actually has a lot of move speed despite not having that many stats, which makes him a lot more survivable and a lot easier to dodge some skill shots. Xiaoyu on 20 souls already. Which, yeah, I mean, around 5 minutes for farming center. It's not the worst thing ever, I guess. Where is the gold lead? The problem is there was still a huge CS advantage in the bot side for the Varus. And it still ended up being 2 for 3 overall in terms of kills. The Xiaoyu did go down. So it's only the 1 kill advantage compared to, you know, a 10 CS lead on the other side. Dragon going down now for LGD. Grove's been taken yet? No, because they haven't spawned yet. Sometimes I still get that one wrong. Xiaoyu, again, look how fast he is. Needs to be careful here, though. Doesn't have flash. YCX has heal. Coming through the wall. Where's the... might need that last embrace. Not bad there, actually, from Xiaoyu. Walking away from the wall. Ultimate coming through from the center. That'll definitely help a little bit. Is Climber coming down? Yes, he is. This might be an overstay coming through from WE. Yeah, the bailout's gonna wear off now. Taehyun has no flash. That could be a bit of an issue. Flashes forwards. Climber gets the first kill. Monkey, I don't think he's gonna be able to finish off this one either. Another last embrace lands onto Monkey's rolling forwards. Doesn't have that level 6. Does get the wall stun though. Don't think Xiaoyu was expecting that. And Monkey will at least get another one back. 2 for 1. All things said and done. Or 2 for 2. 2 for 2. All things said and done. Xiaoyu, not expecting that wall stun, I don't think. Howdy, Sam. We've had an early game of all time so far.
Oh, God.
Yep. Xiaoyu got a 3 kills and an outplay dive as the center.
Okay.
Because, for some reason, look, it was not the best showing ever from W's. Yeah. But then on the bot side now, yeah, including Xiaoyu had a snipe onto a Skarner who dipped into a brush to get out of vision, threw a mist on the floor.
No
So he used the soul on the floor to
way.
angle the Q. It was really cool. That was, yeah, that was really, really cool.
Good stuff. We hear at the chair in a moment.
What do I think about Koi beating KC? It's very symbolically important for Super to finally get a series win over Kalist and Targamas. That's very important for him, I think, on an individual level. I think that for Koi, I think a lot of people thought that they were not worthy of a rivalry of KC after KC became champions and went to first stand finals. I think a lot of people were of similar mindsets to that anyway. And I think, you know, after having close series versus top teams in the LEC, it's nice to see them actually capitalize and show that they are not just, you know, the 4th team in the pack. They are a genuine contender.
That was very smooth, considering that you were continuing that speech while also helping me move the chair. That was well done, Al.
Sam, I'm paid to talk. I better be good at it. It can be a challenge sometimes.
Well, you have to manage me. You've had some very good life lessons on the front of it all.
Monkey going towards mid lane. Very no flash. Hook into the turret. Surprise lands.
Oh,
Oh, no, Monkey!
Did they just pull the handshake out of Monkey's ult?
I wonder whether that was the case, Sam.
Oh, dear.
I wonder whether Vampire may have just drained the skill out of both himself and Monkey this game.
That's quite poor, is the honest answer. I have expected better. So,
slight gold lead to WE. LGD do have the center factor, where despite the fact that they don't have a front line, it doesn't always have to matter. Also worth noting too, potential extra thing which can come in. Ambassador always runs shield bash. If you get hit by the center altar, decently large shield actually gives you a surprising amount of damage on your next auto attack, so be wary of that one.
That's a worthy point. I give that a heads up. Monkey, of course, the last time I really remember him pop off on the Scar, and he's had a couple good games on it, to be fair, was breaking Arn's ankles 3 times in a row to get into the Ascension stage in the first place. Literally managed to catch the poor man out of a Kaiser ultimate. It was pretty damn silly.
I was about to say, this is a rematch of the best of 3 that would have seen LGD potentially into Group Ascend as well. They lost to FPX and then to WE in the qualifiers for Group Ascend, the teams that were in the 3rd place bracket, basically. And yeah, WE denied them a place in Group Ascend, despite the fact that I thought at that point in time, LGD were the better team. They just choked at that moment. Sometimes that happens. I think WE since then, I think they proved that they have a lot to be proud of. I think they have grown as a team. However, perhaps LGD can return the favor. Or WE are now the assumed favorites, and LGD can throw a little spanner into the works.
See whether they've managed to cook a little bit more in that Nirvana stage. They did do very well down there, honestly. But again, the inconsistencies hurt them. Little Frog in the mid lane on one of his absolute staples in the Azir, of course. The problem is he's going to be into that Talia, which is often been a bit of a nightmare for that Azir to
and
manage.
The Varus as well. You know, they gave up Varus Rumble's Rumble first pick. They picked Shinzao, which is currently getting jumped onto here. Handshake lands. Where's the ultimate coming through from Climate? Does he feel like he needs to use it? He has no flash. Jumps over to the Grom. That'll help.
Can he keep running? There is no flash on Monkey. Can throw for an upheaval. There's the wall. Tries to get alongside it. Will not be able to. There's the Unraveled Earth afterwards. Flashes away now. Not bad going, honestly, from Climber to get out of that. Fair amount blown by WE. They do get summoners of Climber. Yeah,
managed to buy enough time for his flash to come back off cooldown. YCX, no flash to follow up a play. Monkey has no flash on that Scar. Needs to be a little aware of that one. Of course, there was the extra added safety if it went a little closer. He had the center ult too to potentially help. Shaya has the cleanse, has the flash. Gone towards the Shiv first item. For those of you who have not seen as much of this champion in this build, the whole idea is you go Shiv so you can be very self-sufficient, you clear waves through, and you don't care about not having crit on your first item compared to some AD carries, because every 20 mists, those souls, you get an extra 10% crit. So already, Shaya about to get towards 20% crit, which is basically 1 item worth anyway, which you're fairly happy about. So you get to wave clear, stand on your own, go into something like a Black Cleaver, or something, I mean, even Super showed the Fire Cannon actually yesterday for super long range.
Saw that yesterday in LPL as well.
Yeah, see bits of that as that second item. Dragon going down potentially, Monkey not able to get a steal.
Not bad with the time flash for the...
Oh, no!
Forces Climber to the other side, though. Stun onto XQW, and now he's in danger too. Forced to flash out of the Impale. Down that additional summon. A flash for the Jades of Corruption. Nice work there from Taeyun. They'll throw out the Dawning Shadow, and it means absolutely nothing.
I mean, we've seen better hostile takeovers, but at least there is going to be 1 kill at the end of that. XQW not hitting the Skarner back, which means that he has to flash out of the Impale. He ends up getting hit by the end of the Talia E. SQW need to see better from him there. He was quite panicked on that retreat.
They've got 3 grubs here as well. And Climber's going to head on down. Has the Crescent Guard. And going to try and clear out regardless. Xiaoye also heading on down. Crescent Guard is popped. Knock up onto Monkey, who's taken some turret aggro. Needs to be aware of something like a Last Embrace landings just wide. TP's behind. WE now on the full retreat. How much do LGD want to play this? In comes Ambessa. Watch that public execution. Monkey very low here. And remember, there's a lack of flashes. They're TPing in themselves. It's going to be a little slow. Should get here just in time.
The bailout could be huge here. The bailout under tower means that it can't be a clean dive. While you think, oh yes, you could snipe out the Skarner, maybe go for a 1 easy kill and then roll over the rest of the fight, the bailout makes that much harder to work with. So what that ends up being is Sassy teleporting in very early. By the way, gone for the full first item, more of Malmortius instead of something like a Shojin or the Eclipse, is against the double AP solo laners. Sassy really indexing in towards the 1v1. Still down a good amount of gold though, just from the early farm of the game.
Alex Chan.
Yes.
Nani Gaski.
5 game series. Yorimiya. That's
so where do you want to go from that tangent, Al?
That's a great question, Sim. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a busy few days.
Well, some teleports have generally been blown all over the place at this point. I don't think there's any teleport active right now. XQW has been the one coming off cooldown most recently because he blew it towards the tier 2 in bot side to help protect Climber on that very aggressive jungle invade we saw looking in. WE going to bring up a lot of members towards the top side, and again, with the 3 grubs, they have been a little bit faster on these rotations to turrets. I don't think LGD are necessarily going to be able to defend that as yet. Well, note that LGD don't have first strike. It got baited by the overlay. It was in fact a flat petal that I somehow misread as a turret, and I don't know how I got there.
LGD falling a little too far behind for what I'd like from this comp. 2k down this timestamp. You'd like to have made, at least you even in kills. That definitely helps, but still a little bit worried for LGD. Climber doesn't have flash right now. Does have that ult. Shaya has ult too. Still have to be careful here. Miss on that handshake to Vampire.
She doesn't want to get involved in the business. I'm sorry. Your mainline marketing scheme is just not going to happen. You consider selling Tupperware.
We've been trying to contact you about your Shimmer's extended warranty. Ult onto bot side.
Yeah, well, Cube is going to throw down a scrap and keep running. Yeah, nice trade there, honestly, from Sassy. For all that there's been a good amount of wave control and a lead for Cube, that early Moor is going to be a bit more difficult now to manage. Herald started by the side of WE.
Now, there is a center ult to throw across the fight if something comes through. So remember, Shaya doesn't have... He does have the flash coming back up now. That's going to be the Slayer ult. No attempted steal.
The wall was solid. The wind becomes likely to come across. I think it would have been a bit scary to try Audacious charging in there. Steal on the blue
and what they're also trying to do, they don't necessarily need a fight here. They just want to delay WE getting back towards the mid lane turret. They want to try and stop them getting through that.
Dawning Shadow across 3. Hostile takeover there is solid. Trying to find the Valley Monkey. Couldn't quite find it.
Oh, SQW!
SQW, the little frog jumps out of the fire and into the frying pan. And he's cooked up something real awful this time around. Cube's turned up. Finding the last embrace that does root up a couple, prevents the immediate follow-up. I am watching Nymaera with his head in his hands, not pleased about it.
This was a first rotation Azir. You cannot play this badly in such an important series with such an early priority pick. That could have been a great fight for them, but SQW throws the fight.
Unfortunate stuff, and there were some big ults there. There were a few that whiffed. On Monkey's attempt there at the impale across the wall. Classy idea, didn't quite work out. Note that Sassy's still playing the bot side. In goes the Rumble Lord, and of course, that Skarner diving through. They blow up the Azir. Now the wave clear looking a lot more limited. You can only static shift so many waves. That means the tier 2 falls as well.
CS plans the hook. Might trade his life for it though.
Does indeed trade his life for it. 1 for 1. Where's the Ambessa? Look, here she comes.
She is. Vampire has flash. Taeyeon has flash. You probably flash out of the... Oh, trying to predict it.
Taeyeon pops the ghost and just presses the S key. Cool, calm, and collected enough to stay alive.
The worst case scenario is that you flash and then get hit by the ult. And Sassy really tried to make that a thing. Look, if he hits that, probably does die. Vampire had no ultimate. Dragon spawning now, though. LGD about to get themselves onto solid points. So despite the fact that they're down... gold, and W have been winning the fights. If LGD can get this dragon, that's still not bad strategically for them, considering how the gold's looking.
We go again. Half HP on the dragon. Monkey going on and gets a drive into the wall. Xiaoya cleanses early, looking for something. There's the knockup with the 3 talent strike. SQW on the other side. Redemption coming on down now, buying some space and time. Karis in the back of the pit has TP'd in, looking to find some value. Weaver's wall. Monkey flashes over, gets the route onto Climber. That means a jungler doesn't quite die in time before the smites come on through, but it's still secured by WE. They're going to get another kill afterwards onto YCX. And 2 members down. WE come out on top, break the soul point, and find themselves in a commanding position in this game.
LGD are really starting to discover the difficulty of their composition. They don't have a tank, their engage is quite limited, and if they make mistakes, it's very hard to come back from it. Very easy to punish from WE. WE locking in largely S-tier picks across the board. Maybe the Renata's a little bit lower in terms of overall priority, but the combo of the Varus and the Rumble, the Skarner and the Rumble, the Talia comboing on top of them too, absolutely insane. But what isn't really helping is the fact that XQW has had an absolute awful time of it. This is the second ult that he's completely airborne. You are in a very important series, your most important series of the year so far. And this is the way that you're playing. XQW, the panic, I think, is really getting to him.
He's snatching and grabbing a little bit much there, it has to be said, and it's on the champion that he's known for. XQW on this Azir is going to be one of his primary comfort options, and this isn't looking like it right now. The Monkey flashes over. Sassy just about able to Drake can step out of the impale, but either way, the end result is a dead Climber. Dragon take, an additional pick just for extra bonus power onto the Nautilus. What do you do as LGD? Down 4,000 gold. Down the feats of strength. Down even your soul point. You kind of lost that one there as well. It's not looking easy for them.
No, not at all, because, you know, normally you'd say, well, you can scale up to something like the center. There's lots of ways to reach the center in this kind of comp. You have the Weaver's Wall to separate off the team or catch out center. You have the Equalizer. You have the Hostile Takeover flying through the team fight as well. And Shaya, while you are the farming center, you're expected to have less souls. That soul count will need to be high to get some extra range to do well enough to step out of some of those important skill shots.
Checking our timers, doesn't look like we've got anything coming up incredibly soon outside of the Atakan. Shows that you rush at 20 minutes per se. Vampire with the flash handshake on the Xiaoye, but
not sure about that.
Quite far. YCX next to W. That's a much better ult. The redemption buys a bit of time. Taking trying to get a kill back. Can't quite get the bailout, but SQW will die for this. They're going 1-for-1 as it stands. Flash away from Karras. Hit by the wind, becomes likely staying away from the audacious charge range. In come the piercing darkness. Straight on through Monkey. Karras trying to buy the space. The Xiaoye just keeps autoing. Monkey driving through, trying to get some more value. The heals from the piercing darkness, trying to get the additional slow, but it's just not going to be quite in range. The upheaval just wide. Xiaoye slowing people down with the autos. Monkey can't get in range for anything more.
Xiaoye really trying to carry the team, and even gets the last embrace that potentially could put Monkey in danger. Not quite. Xiaoye really outplaying the team of WE, but this is after Vampire leaves the opportunity. WE very far ahead. Another failed engage opportunity on the Renata, really. Vampire is kind of playing the Renata as though he would be playing a Rel, a Leona, or Nautilus. That's just the style of player he is. But putting himself out of position like this, when you are meant to be sat behind your teammate, angling up your ultimate and that bailout, you need to do better than that in these moments.
You really do. And then, of course, you saw what Taeyun tried to do then, flashing to get the bailout, reset, couldn't quite do it, and things got really difficult from that. Vampire ends up going down as Xiaoye gets the piercing darkness through Monkey. And in fairness to Monkey, he nearly cleaned up the back end of this fight, but Xiaoye able to kite out really well. And this is the other side of the fight we didn't see. Climber and Sassy teaming up to ensure Cube's death.
Yep, it's 4 kills. It really does give a lot more gold to LGD
Half the gold
than I would have expected. No, you don't have the soul point for LGD, but Xiaoye got a ton of souls in that fight. Is at 80 now, so at that 4th. So an extra 40% crit on top of the 50% that they have from items. An extra bit of range too. Definitely going to be a threat which WE needs to take care of. Priority.
Control over this bot side river now. Very much LGD's. Atakan is down there as well, so a big fight win here gets you an additional prize. Monkey rooted up before he could drive through the wall. Oh, yeah, been pretty good with those last embraces so far.
And now Xiaoye has both cleanse and the flash, makes it a lot easier to play through things. Hook out of danger and does have some shielding as well. Monkey!
With the double impale into the hostile takeover. That's what we're talking about. Xiaoye cleanses to no avail. Both bot laners dead. That will be Atakan and Dragon, and WE right all the wrongs.
Yeah, Xiaoye uses the cleanse, but it doesn't work on the Skarner ultimate and doesn't flash out of the impale either. So Monkey gets the play he's been looking for. Seriously impactful here on the Skarner. And that'll be the Atakan and LGD, who are mounting a bit of a comeback, put back in their place.
They're going to try and jump onto Climber here as well, who's going to be rooted up. Where do you run? Crescent Guard is buying some time. XQW is at least thrown down enough Sand Soldiers to threaten in the Tri-Brush. Monkey gets healed up by the Redemption and heading over towards this Dragon.
So that's probably going to be Evening of Dragons by WE now. I mean, Shay does have the ult to come through, I guess, but with the on-hit Varus, you can take down Dragons fairly quickly. I don't think you're going to get in time. I don't think you can even get in range for a steal, to be honest. There it is, it's gone.
For the hook, lands it onto Cube. He's now in danger, throws down the flame, spin a Dawning Shadow as well. Karras, where's he going to go?
No
Has no flash, that'll be 2 solo laners down. Not Baron or anything to go for, but you'll take that as a back-end pick.
Get some assists onto the center across the field too. So LGD get themselves, I mean, they get themselves some kills. Does it mean they can get some good vision control down? If they can get some damage onto mid turret, that's very, very worth for them. Taeyun, I'm not sure he can really walk up, especially with the Azir combo still available. Okay, so that's going to be 2 kills and the tower afterwards. LGD, good on them for forcing the fight, actually. Again, a team that were mounting a comeback just before this. It was blunted a little bit. Important moment. Get themselves back on, get not quite even keel. Going back to the replay here. Vampire, oh my god, just flash it, man. Oh, Xiaoye, you have to flash that. Cleanses afterwards as well. Like, that's a stinker. That's a stinker.
Well, we're now looking at a place where, of course, Atakan was picked up by WE and the Dragon. The retreat from the Dragon kind of sucks. They lost 2 in the tower. So it does actually keep LGD within touching distance of the gold. They're still 2,000 behind, but it could be a lot worse. issues are going to be things like this Varus now. With this Wit's End complete, it gets a lot scarier. You have got 2 items on your solo lanes as well. That is a tricky position for LGD on that front. Xiaoye, interesting to go for the Hurricane second here as well on the center.
He did that for the wave clip. Now he's got the Lord Dominus Regard as well. By the way, he's now overcapped on crit chance, which means he'll get extra life steal instead from the amount of extra crit that he'd have in his build. It's one of the things about Senna. Because you get free crit chance, you're likely to go over 100% even in with AD carry builds. He's up to 87% stack, so he's got an extra 40% crit on top of it. Hang on a second, XQW hops over the wall, can't get himself a shove onto the flashless Skarner, though. Maybe could have committed flash for that.
Sides against it. Blue buff is successfully stolen away there. Can't pick up the additional one for anybody, but hey, Monkey's got it, and that can be quite nice when you're actually playing with things like the Azir. It does actually like to burn through quite a lot of cooldowns and mana.
Baron now up and available. As we've gone past the 25-minute mark, LGD losing quite a lot of vision control, despite the fact that they did have a good moment just before this to get those kills and that tower in the mid lane. Not really getting that vision control, which has often been the downfall of WE, actually. It's one of the reasons why they never really were a top team in Ascend. They'd done some good work, but their fundamentals of vision control and some of their macro was definitely behind, and it meant that they couldn't find their aggressive, creative engages that they were so successful without it with them.
Yeah, it often felt like a lot of their macro players were off, say, Monkey spotting a good play on Pantheon and ulting on someone, rather than like the methodical day-to-day stuff of vision control and solid rotations and dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. And I very nearly said crossing all your T's and dotting all your... Go. I got
dotting all your T's and crossing all your I's.
That's the one.
All right,
fight's happening as I am forced to reconsider my knowledge of the English language. Monkey left pretty low there, but isn't going to be taken out. YCX also chunked out, but this Senna is starting to become a real menace here in this game.
Yeah, that's with the Black Cleaver stacking a little bit onto the Skarner, and then the Lord Dominus Regards from Shia. Typically, Senna is the Black Cleaver builder herself, because she double stacks it on autos and Qs. Still, some big ultimates use. The Senna and the Nautilus on one side, the Rumble on the other. Shia instantly deleting waves, trying to get himself up towards that 100 soul mark if he can. 95 right now. Monkey. Oh, gotta be careful with the impale over a wall like that. I was actually a little bit worried for climbing that. You can get dragged across that. Yike did that against BLG, I want to say.
Yes, he did.
Back at the World Championships. It was a hell of a moment.
Wow. Wave control, now the game of the game for LGD. They've ended up dropping a wave or two side lane turrets. Actually, it's been a bit unfortunate. And then, XQW and Sassy up actually a little bit in farm here. They're doing a better job of getting more out of the side lane so far. It is making sure that this gold lead is shrinking. It's down only 1,000 now.
Yeah, no, it was over 2,000 at points. Sassy was down 1,000 gold individually. Now, even. And again, so much magic damage. Having the more Malmortius and the Merc Treads definitely helps their ability to play out the team fights. And 203 on the Ambassador can very much be a diving threat. Jay, I think we'll be going towards the Infinity Edge next item, by the way, which will definitely be, yeah, it'll definitely sting. Senna's had some of her crit damage and crit blah 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 changed over time, because she gets less value from crit than other AD carries because she gets so much free crit chance, kind of like the Asura problem, right? But if she gets towards it, it's still going to hurt all the same.
Lifesteal alone you were talking about.
And it's now at 97 souls. If he gets himself just 3 more, we'll get that extra range increase, that extra crit chance, which will go over into a lifesteal. That'll
be a big deal, and of course, Infinity Edge does do a lot of work in terms of enhancing your crits in general. If you went looking with the Rocket Belt, I think it is a Rocket Belt Rumble, looking for some of those more aggressive Electro Harpoon trades.
It's the, yeah, it's because the Landry's got nerfed as the first item. It's just better stats. The Rocket Belt very good in terms of individual. Nature Vampire very nearly escaping, very nearly getting hit by that one. Turret put in mid lane, and we have a war of the mid lane.
Vampires gets jumped on, flashes away, but that's a lot of his HP bar down. Nice combo there from XQW and Climber. Looking for some more value. Redemption down. Monkey roosted up in the front line, trying to do their best work. In comes the Equalizer.
Oh, hits no one.
Does kind of buy a bit of time, but that's kind of it. Not the best ult we've ever seen. Monkey now in danger. On comes the Ravel Rur. Prevents XQW from stepping forward. Sassy has to back away. Impale only onto one. They're trying to drag him over. They step on forward. Hostile takeover is pretty solid. YCX now dead. Into the backline they go with Sassy and the rest of the crew.
Oh,
XQW tries. Bailout comes on through, and they can't bring them down. A moment of madness, and hope is swiftly dead.
Taeyoon resets and WE run through the fight. But what the hell was that? From like 3 different diving members of LGD. That should have been an easy pick onto the Skarner. They choose to bite off way more, and they may have just lost the game for it.
They had an easy, isolated kill set up for them onto the Skarner. We'll go back and watch this again. Vampire has used his flash. He's used his redemption. Monkey's caught out. And for some reason, YCX says, now is the time to lose the game. It's a good Var assault. But, you know, SQW has flash, gets hit by the CC, and chooses not to, you know, use that. And it means it delays him. He jumps through the minefield. Look, XQW is having a generational in on this, Azir. This is just not acceptable for a player who's looking for a place in LPL playoffs.
And Taeyin as well. Shout out. Really good play from him there as well. Manages to make sure he flashes over the wall aggressively and finishes off people with that passive rolling on the Varus. Dragon picked up here as well. Be another Cloud Dragon. And considering they're already dancing all over LGD in some of these fights, that will really help with that.
I just can't believe that LGD just threw away this entire game. That was
Across the minefield twice.
You know, Vampire had just used his flash and his redemption. Monkey caught out, dash across the minefield. Everyone going in one by one. And LGD, you've got to do better than that. You've got to know better than that. WE, they will be wiping some sweat off the brow a little bit there. That one was gifted to them.
Gold lead extends again. They get Baron. They get Dragon. Life looking a little bit better. Monkey in a potentially dangerous spot, but just getting impelled onto YCX. In comes the hostile takeover, prevents any defense. And the engage option dies for LGD.
And the Impale's now down. You do have some wave clear, of course, coming in for Shay. It does have the flash. Got out a little bit there.
Ooh, nice equalizer. Forces some people over the wall. Xiaoyan burning out. My days. He stands and delivers with a Dawning Shadow, but he's going to have to retreat to base now. And that means this inhibitor turret likely going to fall here with the double cannons in power.
Yeah, he saves his flash, which is nice for him, but you need to, you know...
Saved it quite a lot this game.
Yeah, but, I mean, you have to have that flash. Yes, probably should have used it against Skarner Alter 2 in his time, but hey, that one will be for review, I think. 110 stacks now, going towards 120, which will be the next break point. More crit chance going into lifesteal, more range. Maybe it'll be enough damage at a certain point. Yet to see, really.
So, resets are going to come on through. Third item done for Sassy. You've got 3.5 items on Xiaoyu, who is continuing to stack. And again, you still have Azir Senna late game. And it is getting to late game at this one. 31 minutes. You still farmed very well on Xiaoyu in terms of managing to get enough resource here in terms of the souls and the items. The issue is whether it'll be enough into a 4-item now. Varus, who's gotten a Jack Show and the Wit's End, the ability to actually survive through a lot of this stuff with a bailout on top of you, is going to be very scary.
I mean, especially when you've got the Renata buying so much space with the ultimates as well and the bailouts. I think, you know, in another comp, the Ambassador does just dive onto you and assassinate you. I just don't know if that's possible given the way that LGD are playing and the heal tools available to WE.
Tier 2 goes down. Siege now onto the inhibitor turret. Upheaval lands onto 3. Not a bad shot there, Monkey. Doesn't mean all that much on the Skarner, but you know, I'll give credit where the skill shots are due. Weaver's Wall again used to buy space off another inhibitor turret, this time in mid lane. They ought to siege onto the inhibitor behind it now. SQW throws down a few soldiers, but I just don't think they're paid enough to deal with this onslaught coming from WE.
It's a revolt, a mutiny. Yeah, they're not, yeah. No, they ain't marching into that. All right. Xiaoyu very close to his Infinity Edge. In fact, does he get it on this base? He just went back for it. Yeah, the Infinity Edge is now bought up from Xiaoyu. So I'm very close to that 120 stacks mark. So about to get even more powerful.
Some Sandy Bird throwing sun discs around is not a form of government. In goes Monkey, who's gone very deep, gets the impale. Maybe it's all right. Hostile takeover over the equalizer. YCX burns away. A Monkey's still alive.
Xiaoyu still walking forwards, but I have no idea how Monkey gets away with that one. Gets the impale, and YCX, another poor foray from him as he goes forwards without the vision, gets caught out.
Xiaoyu burns flash, YCX burns flash heal. He just got to drive in and not give a damn.
You would have thought, hey, you know, a late game Senna would be doing more damage to the Skarner. I think you need the Black Cleaver actually stacked up on them for him to actually get a kill there. Xiaoyu, not doing as much late game carrying as potentially I would have thought. And XQW doing even less, I'd argue.
Infinity Edge is now done for Xiaoyu.
Yeah, we did call that while it was in the base. As soon as he hit that 120 stacks too.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Big break point.
Yeah, no, it does feel like you get to that point where you get very long range. But the question is, are you going to do enough damage quick enough for W to not just find the engage and run past you?
Tricky. Especially now when it feels like Monkey's feeling very empowered to keep stepping forward. He's got a third item complete. He's got the Zhonya's now done on this Rumble as well. Void Staff done for Kara, so he's hitting a bit harder again, and that's all while looking at this Varus who's picked up an arm guard. How on earth are you killing Taeyun this game?
It's a very good question, Sam. It's a very good question. You need to find him out of position somehow, or somehow find a way to deny him. Just put the Nautilus ult onto him and kill the people in front of him instead, stop him from auto-attacking, then run him down after. Maybe that's the play. Quite hard for LGD. Did say, hey, look, hard composition. You don't really have much of a front line to use the Senna with. Typically, Senna makes your front line very, very hard to cut through. It's not been the case here, really. WE have just been impaling someone, chucking down the hostile taker on top of that to stop people from protecting the people who are getting kidnapped. And LG have not had a best answer to that. They're now down, you know, 7,000 to 8,000 gold. Dragging up in 10 seconds. LGD looking to potentially contest. It is a Cloud Soul, which would be really nasty. Because the Skarner could just walk forwards at even faster speed now. Look for those kidnaps. It's going to go down. LGD not contesting.
No, they're not. But the dragon goes down. That'll be Soul. And Skarner with Cloud Soul sucks. You get dragged a long way away. Varus with this kind of build with Cloud Soul sucks. They are highlighting his build right now on the main stream, and you can see exactly why. This Varus will be gliding all over them.
It's just really hard to shut him down in a good kind of time. If you end up jumping in as Sassy, even if you jump in as the Varus now, if you Zonya's the combo, potentially that's just your fight's over. Baron now started. Cloud Soul taken by WE, fighting for the mid wave, and it might, I mean, the Baron might be gone by the time they go for the contest.
Karis and Vampire trying his own climber off. Does have flash, maybe has to get on him, but there's good seismic shove, denies any option in there. No vision, made it very difficult to read. Monkey now drives forward, looking for that edge. Ixtal's impact. In goes Climber. Dawning Shadow tags a few at the back line. That's about it. No shield to his own team. Sassy looking for an angle. Monkey a little low here, actually. Maybe LGD feel there is an option here for them to play.
Taeyun
got the ghost. Continued to play around. Thought he had a moment there. Didn't.
That was seriously worrying from Taeyun. Even if he's split from the team, there's a chance that he's then separated so far out from the rest of the unit that LGD could have found a fight. They can't thread the needle there. Xiaoye finding himself on the wrong side of the Weaver's Wall, couldn't auto-attack for himself either. Vampire now looking to see if he can catch someone rotating back in. Would be 3 inhibs down, potentially.
Sassy needs to be a bit wary. Some flashes flow. Gonna keep backing away. The perfect execution goes wide. Didn't come on through. Apologies. Public
YCX has no flash.
The equalizer on the other side. Climber and XPW slowed down so much. Monkey flashed over the wall into the rocket belt and the flame spitter. Glorious combo from the top jungle. Taeyun follows up, gets another. Climber goes down the moment he revives and really wishes he was still sleeping in the GA.
LGD had opportunities this game, but Monkey snuffs them out. The Skarner, as clutch as it's been all split, Monkey leads WE to the first game of the series.
It's a bloody one. 37 kills in 35 odd minutes. But it is WE who come out on top. Not without their flaws, not without their stumbles. The team fights just look up, would be okay too. I think into the Rakan, going to go for that tankier frontline option on WE. Very bruiser heavy. Quite short range of the composition, but if they can start rolling, it's going to get very tricky. But 1-4 for LGD. Zeri has to dance around a lot of these fights. Needs to be a bit wary of things like the Rune Prison, the Feathers. Pillar to an extent as well, of course, can spark surge out of this, but theoretically, there'll be a lot of people in an active range to burn through. Leave just the other day absolutely annihilated the side of FPX. There we go. Reminder. Other red team. In the game 4. Didn't quite manage to carry it all the way to a full game 5 victory, but the Zeri was very, very scary. The crowd's taken away from here. I think you may have a point there, Karzul. If you accelerate that Zeri, yeah, things get a bit dicey. Can't let those kills go to Xiaoye this time around. I think Sassy as well could be a little bit of a problem in this game. Yorick, with the Pantheon behind him, could be a bit tricky to manage, especially if he starts to get ahead of curve. Rise can manage him somewhat. Climber steps on forward, throws down the early Comet Spear, gets the ward. Nice combo there with the auto Q auto. Chomps the ward, gets the vision score, throws down his own wall. Pilg for life, says C. Montes. Oh, Montes, not again. Very interesting drafts out. Xiaoye on the Zeri. Monkey back on a very rapidly locked-in Trundle. So WE got themselves a relatively short-range comp, but one that can bruise their way through a lot of team fights. So LGD, the Yorick, bit more of a kind of wombo combo with the Pantheon Orianna, with the Rakan, and then the Zeri to kind of be your hyper carry, even if she has to be a bit wary of some of the people who will be in her active range.
WE are pretty heavily outranged.
Yes, they are.
That is a worry. And normally I'd say, you know, Trundle very good at playing front to back, blah, blah, blah. I don't think you get to play front to back that easily with Shockwave likely stopping you from kind of walking into plays. Trundle's never really been that good against mages like that. And, looking at the Zeri and the Ori, I think they've got a better chance to play the front-to-backs out. So WE, I think last game they had a much better draft. I think this time, this one is actually harder for them. So maybe some good signs for LGD. If LGD can take this draft, if they can take this win, I think we have an interesting series. If they lose with a stronger draft than they did in game one, I'm very worried for them.
Where we were at. Taeyun, though, getting a lot of damage down with the help of Vampire onto YCX. Got a couple of pots to burn through, but nice little combo there. Exactly how it plays out. Of course, the other thing for WE is if you are playing this area and you overstep into Feathers or a Pillar or a Rune Prison as you're trying to glide through a team fight, quite easy to end up overstepping into some CC and getting kind of face planted as you stumble on the various tools that WE have. But it's more of a reactive play than a proactive one, I'd have to say.
Yeah, WE do have, I mean, I'm not going to say that this is a complete draft stomp from blah, 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 because you know, WE do have Trundle, they have a strong front line. If they catch someone out, they can force well with Realm Warp and Scion. You have that ability to play around effectively double semi-globals, with both of them being able to react very well. WE are one of the better teams in the LPL actually using those kind of long-range engage tools. So WE will look to see how they can force fights like that. Climber, level up on Monkey, but a little less HP.
Jump onto him with the Pillar. People coming on down. Headbutt, Pulverize onto two. Climber throws at the Aegis up. He's kind of trapped, forced to flash, but does flash in time to get some value. Xiaoye with a Ghost running. Over the wall goes Taeyun. Look at the Ultra Shot laser. Lands it onto Taeyun himself, who will then cleanse. Nice kill. Climber now in danger, though. Another massive knock-up. Continue to chunk through some more. Monkey gets that one. Continue with auto. XQW now coming on down as Vampire needs to back up. But Karis in a 1v3. Flash out of the Overload. Trying to jump over the command attack dissonance. Gets another kill. Now ICX and Xiaoye in the back end of it. Flash. Pulverize. Vampire on a mission. Headbutt Xiaoye, who's going to have a Spark Surge. Doesn't matter. A chop comes on down. And Karis gets the kill as YCX flashes out. 3 for WE as they outplay in the river.
The early power of the Alistair Trundle once they actually start to get in melee range of you is absolutely absurd coming into this. I think LGD had another moment there where they ended up just overplaying a fight that was kind of won for them. It's not been something which we've it's not something that they've developed much on, I have to say. In that last game, they did it in that top lane around the Baron, which ended up losing them a one fight. Seemed like another thing here. They got that first kill. They continued the fight, and that's really what ended up killing them. You can't afford to take, you know, extended fights against a Trundle, and he starts getting value out of his passive once he gets those kills onto targets. We'll watch back in this replay here. The initial start of this isn't bad from Climber. He gets like his Conqueror stacked up very early, uses that E very well into the combo as well, flashes out of the CC chain that could have come through. While this is happening, you know, Xiaoye has been bought time then to start ramping up into this fight. This bit is fine. This bit is still okay. I think once you go 1-for-1 hit, you have to disengage. I know it looks bad for XQW, but you just have to get out of here. The fact that they buy into this, they don't body block the initial overload there either, which I think is a huge problem for YCX. I think that maybe could have bought enough time to turn around a little bit more. The mechanical misplays and the overstay from LGD puts them in the dirt.
The other side of that, though, is Vampire had an absolute stormer of a fight. How many key knockups did he get in that one? I think every Pulverize, but the last one to knock up Xiaoye of all people, was a multi-man Pulverize. You can't do much better than that on the Alistair. Felt very, very pleased with himself, I am sure. Coach WE in a healthy position in this early game. 800 gold lead onto this rise. An assist onto Taeyun, who is down 10 CS again to drop a bit there because he was the first person to die. Towards the Dragon we go there very early from WE, using the power of the Trundle to secure that early objective. Hang on, bit of a potential contest here. Pillar comes on down then with no flashes available because everybody in that last fight burned all of their summoners. Can look for some more. Climber now in danger as the spell flux flies on through. Rune Prison afterwards, and Xiaoya is not passing go.
Yeah, Xiaoya gets caught out by that Realm Warp, and LGD once again buying into a fight that they can't really take. We did say the X factor for WE was on the things like their semi-globals, using it well in that fight, and a 3-0 rise for Carrot. That is a huge difference. On the other side, SQW 0-1, 1,000 gold down. The mid-diff's looking real.
Yeah, it is. That's going to get really dicey, and Xiaoya dying as well helps even up that bot side that was kind of getting a little bit dicey there for a second, because Xiaoya was the one who did get a little bit more of an advantage versus opposite number in that early fight, but the waves even up. It's a second death for this Zerian top side. They've just been farming. No one really cares right now. Lane swap now coming on through as Taeyun and Vampire look to switch up towards this side as Grubs will be spawning in a minute. They're going to look for both early objectives, I think.
And I think they can. They have absolutely every right to. They have such a powerful start to this game. It's not like Yorick is going to be some game-changing factor in the early stages. He needs to get a side lane advantage, and then he might even get an X-Flash back. Yeah, there could be a problem flash, maybe Vingwent. Okay, no follow-up for now.
Kind of toward in the Dark Procession here. Sassy slow down briefly. It's the Glacial Augment again, which we are seeing post this patch a lot more on the Alistair.
And we did see it a fair amount before that too. I'm not going to say we didn't see the Aftershock, but it's also something which has suddenly come out of nowhere. It definitely helps when you're looking to, in these early fights, chase people down, right? So for instance, in that bot side play in the river, you know, those early fights, the slow after the initial combo can buy people into those lower range fights where the Trundle can start to succeed.
So, Taeyun about to have his flash come back up. I suspect a lot of people will be having that after the early skirmish because they will be on a very similar timer. Either way, everyone's up here. YCX and of course Sassy trying to set up a little bit here. And actually, it's interesting. LGD are the ones who are on the Grubs first. And it looks like W saying, look, we're kind of happy with where things are. We're not bringing our Scion up here. We'll just give you those Grubs. That's okay.
Getting knock-up for knock-up there. I think he's going to be losing out on that one a little bit, though. Actually, no, I say that. Not by taking more damage than potentially he would have liked.
Maiden in the Mist continuing to do some autos. Another Grub goes down. Monkey not interested in getting into the back of the pit. No blast cone anyway. So LGD happy enough with that secure on the objective.
So 3 Grubs to LGD. They do have the Yorick. It's nice for them. However, this is a team with the Scion ultimate and the Rise ultimate to shut down the Yorick. A little bit in the side lanes. The Pantheon, of course, a global for LGD. Does mean that side lane play may be much more of an objective compared to that last game.
Wave crash bot side, and that's the price that's paid. That Scion kind of got a lot of free time there. Wasn't interested in coming up, so all the members up north for LGD. The sad end of it all. That being a bit of a WE favoured trade.
Unrelated question, but does some languages have a phrase for greeting someone after they've slept, which isn't good morning?
Thou hast arisen. Arise.
Welcome to the world of the living. You know, there are colloquialisms, but I don't know whether... Yeah, I mean, there are some, right?
Oi, get out of bed now.
Harris using that ult into the side lane.
Buckle up, Samurai. We've got a Yorick to burn. Maybe that'll do as a wake-up call. Sassy doing his best to trade back here. Hang on. Maiden of the Mist in a dangerous position here. Flash for the last right. Still to do auto. Shockwave gets him. Double pulverized. I mean, Sassy likely gets traded. How about the trade after XQW? Looking to get some slowdown. Y6 in danger as the feathers are pulled behind. Y6 splits apart from it. In comes the Pantheon now. It's looking mighty messy. Another multi-man pulverized. Flash in for the feather pull. Taeyun trying to trade this one out. As Climber doing a lot of work, but I think he dies here as well. It'll end up being a positive trade for LGD.
What did we say about globals and side lanes compared to the last game? You have a Yorick who's got the 3 Grubs. LGD would really like to use that, and WE would love to shut that down. Both teams throw their globals to the play, and LGD come out ahead from this one because they also get to keep XQW alone on that side lane as well to maybe take another play on that bot lane turret.
Cubel had topside, not there involved. Taeyun nearly had a wonderful Featherstorm, but the split apart made that a bit trickier, and in the end, the continual damage from that Pantheon and Orianna proved a little bit too much and actually gets LGD a bit of a gold lead there with some of the shutdowns coming through as well. Have a look at this replay, because it is the Realm Walk coming on down. They want to try and make this a 1v2 versus Sassy. It just takes a while to die. The Dark Procession means that Monkey's only hitting him now.
And while all this is happening, you have to keep in mind, you look at the bot side, the bot lane, the Pantheon is coming in on pretty short order. Yes, Taeyun makes it to the play and Xiaoya doesn't, so there is an AD carry involved and the other one isn't. That's typically a good sign for the team with the AD carry. But, you know, Pantheon in these early fights, not dissimilar to the Trundle in terms of the ability to early skirmish, get some huge value out of him, saying even with a fully stacked lethal tempo, can't do anything about it.
At least Vampire with the headbutt pole gets to run away to safety, so it ends up being a 3-for-2. It could have been worse, basically, but still, with a fumble there from WE, and it does get LGD a little bit back into the game, particularly for Climber. He's now 3-1 after that play.
Yeah, especially against the Trundle, you don't want to be falling too far behind in the individual matchup, we'll say. I mean, Trundle is still going to be really annoying to play against as the Pantheon. Trundle steals a lot of your stats. Clump up here from WE. I wonder if LGD could just play a little bit more reserved in the 4-man unit and try and get value onto Sassy's Yorick now at this point, because again, you do have those 3 grubs. Eventually, you are going to be very, very hard for the Scion to deal with.
Clearing out some of those wards there in their jungle. Dragon started. Monkey gets the Glob, steps on forwards, headbutt pulver, coming onto YCX, who then gets the battle dance out.
The range advantage kind of been put on display here. No flash on the Alistair. Probably don't want to get within that combo range. Shaya pops the ult.
Goes that lightning crash. Steps on forwards. That's a little bold. Has the ghost running. Should be okay. Dragon secure. Now the play afterwards as they go in with the quickness. Vampire, though, gets to press R. Stunned up by that trample. Pulled back by the pillar. Taeyu trying to get a load of feathers out. Will get flashed onto by Climber with the shield vault after. Vampire gets another pulverize. Tries to head someone back under the turret. Can't quite get more than a single shot on top of him. And they get another kill.
So it's Dragon and the kills. And you can see that the range advantage from LGD really coming up tops. Sassy also getting some alone time in the lane as well. He's just happy just farming up on the other side of the map. But LGD showing that, you know, the range advantage could be a big problem. Thrall Morp, is it going to complete in time? No, it's not.
Tries to get some value back. Not enough. Nice rampage for Climber, who's 5-1 suddenly on this Pantheon.
Uses that second ultimate of the game very effectively here. 2 ultimates and 2 high value ones at that too. LGD getting a lot out of this early game, ahead in the game now.
1,000 gold for them. Taeyu going to step towards mid lane. It does feel like the early leads from Karis and Monkey have been somewhat stymied here. They try to complete this aspect with Dragon, and Taeyu just dances all over him.
I just don't get why WE want to be fighting this. They don't have flash on Trundle or Alistair, who is melees who are outranged very heavily by this team. Really do need that. Yeah, YCX kind of messes up, but also Taeyu uses his ultimate very cheaply for what was a very low health of Rakan. That Rakan wasn't going to change the fight, particularly after that point. So you trade your AD carry for just that support, and LGD get away with the objective and the kills.
They're unfortunate for them. Still, WE not exactly miles and miles behind here. What was a very good early start to the game has slipped away from them. Some very scary positions. Zeri back in the game very happily. This Pantheon, very nasty indeed. Monkey does decent work on there until YCX continue to trade out. Shockwave onto Karis, but here comes Vampire. XQW now in danger. Vampire will hit the floor in anger at the flash away from XQW. How dare you leave as I was looking for a play.
Hey, Vampire getting a summoner for free there. We'll take that. It's happening in the top lane matchup. Sion's still ahead of gold in terms of Sassy, actually. So that's good going from Cube so far, who has been a very good tank top lane player for WE. I think that once he moved off of carries and more towards tanks, he's given a lot more value to his team, much like last year when he was on OMG. Just being on Udyr duty definitely helped him an awful lot to just find his role within that team.
So, got a couple minutes until the next Dragon, 30 seconds until Herald. Those two might be a point of contest. Nice little mock up there with the decimated smash. The Dark Possession will finally time out, and Cube begins to walk away as Sassy goes, here, come back, let me bonk you a few more times. Not really doing all that much yet, as the roar of the Slayer will send the Maid of the Mist careening away.
Drive Mick closer. I wish to hit them with my sword.
Why do you sound like Matt Berry doing that?
Well, I mean, you tell me. It's meant to be from, you know, Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
Matt Berry would be a fairness a very good.
I mean, you tell me. Like, it's the old 40k meme. I thought it deserved some dramatic flair to it. So.
Matt Berry.
DBS jungler in New York City. I never really watched much of his stuff. I've seen a lot of his clips turn up over time. Hang on, teleport behind them. This is a way to deal with that range advantage. No flash in Orianna. That's a big problem. Vampire has flash too to shut down the engage.
A devious teleport in top lane River. Now they're going to jump onto XQW for... they'll get another kill.
Damn, I never knew how much I wanted and did not want a Matt Berry cast. Simply find the one kill. Herald was taken, going to be used immediately on mid lane turret. It's a couple of engage tools used from W to get one kill. They do get themselves the top lane turret as well.
Gonna try and get this Herald charge into mid lane. And they'll Two people damage. Xiaoya very aggressive there with the Spark Surge and Lightning Crash. Taeyun has to walk away from it. All the while, though, checking the picture-in-picture. Monkey is just walking up with the Trinity Force and the Trundle saying, yeah, I out-split push you right now.
Yeah, the Rise and the Trundle get to hit that even with no grubs. Gets them some value. The mid lane turret does go down, though, so you can argue two tower kills for one. Obviously, very important. Karras does have flash. Might need to use it.
Lots of people crashing. He's got himself a rumble. Gets interrupted. He's gone. That's too far.
Oh, he was bobbed back by the edge of the Dark Procession. I think if he doesn't get hit by that, I don't know if Climber would have been there in time. And now Monkey, no flash. Maybe coming up in the next second or two. Oh, he's so dead.
I'm going to keep jumping for him. He's got the Subjugate running for a second or two. Shieldbolt comes on down, buys a bit of time. Tries to get a little bit more healing as people were dying around him in terms of the minions, but it's just not enough, and he will finally go down.
And the mites even help tank up. So there's a bit of a bug/feature on the LPL overlay. We talked about it a couple of times. Sometimes when a flash is about to come back up, the whole summoner gets grayed out, and I thought, oh, Monkey might have flash coming back up, and I just didn't realize he'd used it in that play, so a little bit confused on that one. WE largely now trying to play a macro game, but they just don't have the easiest way to fight, and that's the problem. Like, you can macro all you want, you can use these big ultimates from the Scion and the Rise. You are outranged, and I think particularly when the Zeri is going untouched in a lot of these fights, that is going to get very, very dangerous to play with later on.
Alrighty then. Dragon is spawning. I don't know why I've gone towards this action. We're having some fun today, apparently. Yes. It'll be Ocean Dragon spawning. Ocean Soul on the table at some point this game for someone. Scarus walks across the ward and eats a command attack dissonance from Orianna. Doesn't actually do all that much yet in this game. There's not all that much damage available to them. Start up this dragon nonetheless. And
yeah, it's not. I don't think it's going to contest. I don't think it's going to be contested because I think on the other side you want to get a full turret for the Yorick, and that will finally get you ahead of the game in that top lane role. You have Climber hanging around too with his ultimate potentially. This is too fast. You have no flash. You can't walk up. You're on weak side.
That's a bit of a mistake. In comes the quickness, but it means very little so far. Shockwave to disengage. The Seraph Shield also procs, and the phase rush is solid. Headbutt into the wall, denied by a flash. And actually, LGD get away with it. Vampire blows the ult to buy a bit of time. XQW's alive. Any angle to TP behind her. Check down the river. Grand Starfall now coming on in. They want to outplay this one in. Monkey now trying to turn this one around with Karras as they look for something. Monkey keeping value onto the Pantheon. They split it apart. Karras will blow up YCX, and then Climber now in danger. Headbutted away. Xiaoya looking to get some more value. Doesn't have the ultimate until just now. Burns it. Karras gets Rune Prison, and they'll get some value. In comes Taeyun. They're turning all around. Climber trying to get some value, but gets headbutted away as he looks for the Comet Spear. Pillar comes on down. It ends up being a 3-for-2 in favor of WE, but Sasson's roaming on into the jungle. Can he find some more here, potentially?
I don't think so, question mark. LGD, try and pull the trigger on the side lane, but just walking up on the weak side at the timing that XQW did threw things into a bit of a difficult situation for LGD. You lost your Seraph Shield very early, you lost your Shockwave very early too, and it meant that XQW wasn't really in a position to play. His first couple of games have been quite poor so far from this mid lane. If this is after he'd already blown most of his cooldowns and walks up into a Rise with flash still, I think Climber also makes a mistake with the direction of his ultimate. Should have been closer towards his pack to give Rakan a bit more of a fighting chance, and the Orianna a bit more of a fighting chance. Choosing to 1v1 Monkey instead, yeah, you take a bunch of his HP, but you're not actually changing the fight. Luckily, he gets one back here.
Yeah, I'd say he needed to get that. Otherwise, I think the 3-for-1 would have kind of sucked. This Pantheon, though, is going to be a terror for the rest of the game. 2 items well and truly completed here. And I don't think Pantheon really falls off in the way he once used to.
With the tower going to Sassy as well in that play, you now have an uber-fed Pantheon with a Black Cleaver that can jump onto a side lane and just absolutely remove Cube from the field of play. I think that between Yorick and Pantheon, I don't know whether this Scion can play the game in the side lane now. LGD, I don't know whether they're going to play towards side lane turrets like that. They've been more just trying to find just all-out brawls. It's been very fun. I love this kind of gameplay in terms of the entertainment of it. However, when it's such important games, you have to call out when it... Hang on a second. Combo.
But Pulverized Popcorn's out. Vampire looks to step on forward, and we're looking like we're going to the Electric Boogaloo team fight. Engage as they look to find the ult in from the sun. But everyone's just melting because Xiaoya keeps pressing Q, Q, Q. Out they go with the Realm Warp, but they lost 3 members.
3 members, and there's 3 grubs with a Yorick still alive to completely demolish that tower. They might even get a full inhibitor off of this push if they want to stick around. I don't think they will do, though. Some wave play from Sion will definitely help.
Decimating smash required. XQW heads towards mid lane. Will begin to clockwork wind up. The turret just says really annoying statements. Like, he's like an annoying orange, but made of clockwork.
It's the annoying Clockwork Orange, philosophy delivered in the form of early 2000s internet humor. That's gonna go down for LGD. So, remember folks, this is the matchup that denied LGD Group Ascend back in our placements for Split 2. WE were the underdogs then. LGD are the underdogs now. First game, I think there were some routes to victory for them. I think, honestly, they threw that game a little bit away when it came towards that late game with some of the ways that they played through it. But now we come through into this second game. Very, very good play around disengaging the Alistair. Vampire trying to... Look, he's outranged. You do need to go for combos like this. It just looks really bad when you fail the play. And Alistair now has failed a couple of these big plays, despite the successes. The losses mean so much more because it's so easy for a team fight to fall apart when you're so heavily outranged, and the mobility of the Zeri can run you back.
I have to call it out as well there. Taeyun dithered around so much, you got a single auto off, basically. Despite Vampire going in, didn't know whether he wanted to threaten himself going forwards, decided to do it in the end. But it's too late at that point. You had to commit earlier. And it was kind of going down to a really nice shockwave combo with YCX proving an excellent delivery boy for the ball. That's how I wanted to do it. I just need to pick him a delivery ball, which I don't really know what to call that.
On top side, there is a Pantheon ult coming up towards here too. Though teleport's coming in. Oh, we're getting all the globals in.
Everyone's coming. TPs as well. Headbutt onto Sassy, knocks into the rage of Cube. We're going to get a decent decimating smash after the pulverize comes on, flash on out of that shockwave, means they get the kill on the Pantheon. Monkey stepping on forward, gets a lot of value onto Shaoye. In comes YCX with the quickness and the grand entrance rolling. Taeyun gonna get rooted up and likely goes down. Monkey trying to run away as Sassy goes in. The ghoul still chasing after the Monkey. Needs to chop him. Gets some healing back from him. Cube on the other side, frontline, as Shaoye continues to threaten Realm Orb out to safety. Ends up being, in the end, a 1-for-1.
1-for-1, but the shutdown does come in. Believe that was a kill over towards Monkey, which means that the jungle matchup looks a little less horrid than it did before, despite Monkey's good early start on the Trundle in that bot lane, bot side river. Shaoye hopping over the wall, a great reminder that the Zeri can reposition much more easily than the Xayah in a lot of these plays. Dragon's now up and available too. Climber will be back up in time for the contest.
That they will. So what summoner's got blown there? Monkey down the flash. Karis, I think that's his flash coming up, which is valuable. On the other side, Sassy's down his. Shaoye, no ghost, but will have flash on the ghost. I don't think it's on that long a cooldown either. So this Zeri in particular feels pretty empowered to just do that all over again.
Dragon up and available. What cooldowns we've got? Well, grand majority of them don't have the globals, importantly. Vampire's getting his ultimate soon, doesn't have it for the next few seconds. Might Hex Flash over. That could be his way to close the distance.
Get into the back line, get into X2W or Shaoye together. Things feel pretty good on that front. A roar of the Slayer. In goes Sun, looking for the angle. Hex Flash angle from Vampire, speeding himself up. Can jump on someone, needs to find an angle. Headbutt into the wall, onto Shaoye, denying him for doing a lot of work as Karis goes gold in the backline and says to Taeyun, trying to find a moment. Into the backline goes YCX. Dragon secured, and Monkey trying to potentially find a way out, can't do it. Ends up being a wipe of a team fight, even if they get the Dragon. Karis gets a Rune Prison, needs to try and run away, but the Grand Star for Shaoye gliding over the wall. The Ultra Shader laser just wide. A little bit deep there is Karis. Gonna flash over the wall. Does a bit of work. Oh, shut down. Absolute loopy-loop.
Takes on the AD carry, who just did 5,000 damage in the team fight. WE, now with that in mind, yes, they lose the fight and they lose a bunch of kills with it, but they do get a kill onto Shaoye and they get the Dragon.
I need a replay on that because Climber tried to flash immediately shield vault and didn't get the shield vault. So Karis just flashes over and blows up Shaoye.
Karis has completely braced their ankles. It has been a really big mid-diff in the first few games, despite the fact that there's been some flashy shockwaves. Karis, the player's often been maligned for WE, getting some great value across the version of this. Dark Precision stops the Sion ultimate, importantly. They're very well played coming through from there. Yorick. Vampire goes into the backline, but he just has no follow-up at this point. It's the problem with playing this heavy melee kind of comp and that Dark Procession getting parts of it. Then, of course, the flashback into that knockup, but Rakan kills his lover. It's, yeah, a romantic tragedy in the making.
And Karis here just starts running away, and Climber basically says, you're going to go towards the turret, and Karis goes, no, I'm not, runs the other way. And Climber goes to try and flash on in here, and doesn't shield vault in time.
He very nearly does. I think he gets himself into auto animation, but then, of course, yeah, Zeri gets caught out.
And the Comet Spear just wide at the end of it all as well. That's an important shutdown for Karis. He's now level 16 as well. This rise might be the win con they need. Monkey down 2 levels in the jungle. This Pantheon has been really menacing from Climber. Over towards the Baron instead we have to look. That's now the rush from LGD.
There's a Realm Warp to potentially check for vision or deliver someone into the backline. Vampire has his ultimate, doesn't have the level 11, importantly, for the extra damage.
Going down too fast.
Yes, it is going down pretty quickly. Teleport's coming in.
Here they go. Kara's now looking to get onto the front line. Lots of damage immediately onto the Rakan. Gets the quickness down. Won't die. What about the rest of the fight? They need to retreat on out of here. Climber with the GA makes it a little bit hard. Xiaoyu slowed down by the pillar. Flashes on out the shockwave. On 3. But Vampire takes the opportunity to headbutt pulverize. Xiaoyu in danger. Monkey quite can't get the kill. Xiaoyu continues to glide. The sparks are firing. 1.21 gigawatts of power coming on. And we're back to the future. Zeri's back in meta, baby. And Xiaoyu couldn't be happier. A triple to the Zeri.
Oh, this shielding coming through onto Xiaoyu. Clutch in the moment. Taeyu might be able to get one back. Has that ultimate. Xiaoyu needs to be careful not to go in there. Taeyu trying to play the vision trap.
It's a 2v2 here currently. Throws out the feathers and Taeyu's just dead. Tries to get something back and in the end, all the while in the mid lane, look at the Yorick. They're ending the game.
Yeah, it's XQW actually just looking to stop the backs. XQW has the flash. All he has to do is just keep Karis from recalling. Xiaoyu gonna head over the wall as well. I mean, if Yorick just sticks around here, he will just end the game.
Finally get the Alistair back up, but that's an inhibitor. Oh, the Nexus turret, sorry, completely down. 2/3. Make that the entirety of the turret. Look how many minions there are. The Nexus is back.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess with 10 seconds left on Cube, you can't stick around for the full end of the game, but double Nexus turrets down. Sassy being a real demolitionist there. LGD, it's not been, you know, exactly point A to B. It's been A to Z with a bunch of different routes and detours thrown into it. They're in a huge position now into this game. There is Soul Point available for WE. They could get an Ocean Soul in a minute and a half. Not exactly sure that would save them, though, especially when they're almost 5,000 gold down in the AD carry roll. Xiaoyu on the Zeri has been monstrous. He has been monstrous. Incredible game from the AD carry of LGD.
But YCX on this Rakan as well has been so good. It's a champion that he, along with many others, was known for down in the likes of LDL as well. So done some serious work down there. But bot lane delivering here in the second game. 10 stacks on the Dark Silver here for XQW, who in fairness, for all we were maligning him early, for all we weren't very impressed with the Azir game, some of the shockwaves this game have been genuinely excellent. And they now just get to walk in and look to just run at the Nexus. Last breath here for WE. They have the fight Taeyun immediately forced to ult just off a command attack distance with the shockwave on top.
That's really problematic, because now how do you stack up the feathers very quickly? Here comes the engage.
Quickness in with the Grand Enter trying to buy some time. Cube does what he can, but it means so very little. Monkey nearly low, taken out by the ghouls. He is going to fall, as will Monkey. And then goes to the backline, goes Karis, and everyone just falls. LGD will even up the series.
1-1, game 1. Perhaps LGD thought that they threw things a little away from them. This could be a 2-0 series at this point. WE not able to...
Awkward. I think Poppy, if you want it, there's enough dashes here to get value out of. Instead, they go towards the million. Okay. A bit more of a defensive option than Army's, a bit more aggressive. And you can help do things like fireball the Akali on her way in, that kind of thing, which can be quite a big deal. Super Mega Flare Kick does some work. The ult can keep you alive and get you out of some of the relatively limited CC as well, actually. Leona's the only really true hard CC outside of like a Viego E. Is it the E or is it the W? Spectral Maul? W. An Aatrox Qs, but you can't cleanse those anyway, so it's not like there's loads and loads of CC to have to track here. There's no Sejuani or whatever in the game from the jungle. But yeah, WE. Basically, Akali sets up a reset for your Aatrox and Viego to run over a team fight. On the other side, Milio is there to keep your Lucian alive and prevent that from happening. Lee Sin is there for early power to get that lane snowballing.
全军出击！
come back in. We have a fight happening over blue buff here. Keep the level off. I'm to back away just fine. Over towards that top lane as Cube goes. Dark and Blades being traded out with the Wingborn Storms. Does WE still mean World Elite, or is it just vestigial now? It's just vestigial now. Of course, it used to be World Elite. It did just shrink down, much like TSM did to TSM. Early shove in every lane for LGD. Lee Sin doing that thing where they will clear one quadrant, then reset for the early dagger, and look to fight on the other side. Monkey instead going for more of a full clear option here. Level 2 earned early for Xiaoyi and YCX. Hasn't led to all that much though, as Vampire and Taeyun were relatively swift to match it. Karis eating a little bit of damage. It's gone towards the Conqueror here, interestingly, as well. No electrocute or anything. Wanted to play out some of those longer fights, and I can see that. I wonder whether we see like a Riftmaker build or something from Karis here. Climber trying to do the double camp stuff. Nice work. Xiaoyi hops on forwards. Electrocute proc with the Cozy Campfire on for the extra range. Monkey might just give up this bot side. Skullcrab throws down a ward. Looks to leave. I think Climber wants to fight here around Monkey if he can. Try and stop at least one of those Skullcrabs going on down. Karis eats a bit of damage. Sonic Wave one way. Yeah, look. Climber's just going to follow Monkey around and say, we're going to play around one of these Skullcrabs. Climber needs to be a bit wary of a Spectral Maw combo here, actually. Back towards the other side. It's swing around a Rosie's. He's going to cross the ward. And they have to have an idea he's coming. And Climber's going to give it up. Can't find the fight he was looking for. And Ted will head towards his Raptors. Does Monkey want to play it himself now? We'll see this happening. Backs away. It's going to look mid. XQW needs to be really wary there. Gravity field down. In comes the Shuriken flip. Flash out from the Victor. Monkey wins the mind games there. Bot side, Vampire goes in. Ignite comes on down. Heal burned by YCX. Especially as Monkey just gets double scuttles here. Lee Sin's going to invade and try and steal away some camps from the Viego elsewhere. So we'll at least get a Wolf camp off. Can he get the Gromp too? I think he might. So the camps being traded will be even enough. Good work there from the Lee Sin to at least get something back. I think he can head back towards this Gromp now pretty happily. Top side, Cube trading with Sassy. Not too much to be seen. Viego's going to realize what's going on very fast here. They might not be able to go reset and maybe nab away something like the Krugs here instead. Does Lee Sin want to try and play this as a dive? Sassy. Oh, Sassy. Won't gone to go for it. He's level 6. Would have been a bit difficult. Viego. Actually down a level now as a result of all this. Got a couple camps to clear out. We'll be able to pick them up. Not the end of the world, obviously, because they get the both Scuttle Crabs. And I think relatively astute from Climate to find a window to go nab some camps away. So despite being double crab, it does actually not fall behind, which is not bad work. Should be able to potentially pick up his Raptors on the reset here as well. His time is going to be a lot better now. As a result, Viego picks that one up. Scuttle Crab spawning again top side. Maybe see a bit of a fight over that instead. Dragon now an option. Vampire. Control Ward down. Zenith Blade interrupted by the Super Mega Flare Click. Viego around as well. You know, Climbers there. That's a bit unfortunate. Damage instead onto the Lee Sin. He needs to maybe back away. Monkey also eats a lot of damage. He has to flash away. Zenith Blade in, but Xiaoye goes under the turret with the Relentless Pursuit. Flash off Climber. That's going to give Monkey free reign to start up this dragon. I thought I saw Nymaera earlier. He was here earlier. He's had to leave because he's on LEC this evening, so he can't stick around. He's got call times and stuff to get a hold of. There's Cube. Eats a lot of damage there. Ow, 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 ow. Wingborne Storm doing a lot of work. So alas, it is just me, Initialise, for the moment. Deja vu. I've been in this game before. Climb's gonna get a Scuttle Crab. Maybe look topside. Cube's gotta be a bit wary here. Has just TP'd back in. It's got an early cull as well, interestingly. And in fairness to him, not being out-farmed or out-shoved too hard here in a way I worried he might do. Monkey gets onto his reset camps and is mostly alright. Has traded some CS, basically, for the priority of getting the Flash Mid, getting the Dragon. Not the worst thing ever. Again, they really want to spike up one-ish item with the Viego and the Akali, and then look to get this Ezreal to being a really scary point of power, because the hit point with this Ezreal has a lot of people where the poke is going to be very, very obnoxious. Unless you get very good Mega Flare kicks onto the Akali, it'll still be a bit dicey to manage. Maybe it's your fault, Kites. Yeah, maybe it is. Zenith Blade in, but goes unstoppable with the Blazing Stampede. The second grub was secured by LGD, but will not get all three. WE get to walk up for that one at the very least. So it ends up being a pip towards the objectives for LGD, but they don't get the full set. Kara stepping on forwards. Gets a decent chunk there. For a bit more. Continuing to just get those Qs down as obnoxiously as possible. Be curious to see what the build is from Karis, considering there is the Conqueror on the Akali. Vampire off vision. Climate and Xiaoye around though. So is Monkey. Flash. Zenith Blade jumping on top of that member. Trying to get the reset. They get it. Akali with the kill. Monkey steals the body. Looks to get some damage back. Ults away. Trying to run. Doesn't quite manage to get far enough out as in comes Xiaoye alongside YCX. A 1-for-1 at the end as the jungle is traded out. Of course, all the while though, Taeyun wasn't there. He was still bot side. So does get that wave crashed into the turret. Of course, wave clear now not really available in the mid lane. And with that, Lucian Millia, very obnoxious to manage. Flash blown from Xiaoye to secure the kill onto Monkey, I'll note. Taeyun's now going to roam mid. Big wave lost bot though. And that's going to be a bit annoying to manage as Karis does manage to clear a majority of these waves here. Shuriken flips for an additional one. Taeyun gets a couple of those minions. And can now potentially look to interrupt some backs. Means that Xiaoye doesn't actually get the reset off he was hoping for. But the kill gives him a slight lead on this Lucian at the very least. Dragon in 2 minutes. Too much more to be seen there. Red buff about to get picked up. And the jungle is even enough here, I think. What role do I main? I main jungle. Alex Nymaera mains mid lane. Though, ironically, probably mains Arena or ARAM these days. But there you go. But yeah, I'm an Evelyn main by trade. Though I used to play a lot of Elise and a lot of Kindred and still do these kind of secondary options. Play a bit of Diana and Maokai, a few bits like that. But I like my AP junglers where I can get a hold of them. And I like pressing R and watching people die. Ask Alex about the time he wrecked Loom out as Viego in ARAM. Bot side, Karis trading out with XQW. Doesn't quite get the value they're hoping for. Zenithblade over the edge. The Mega Blaze kick not up and available. XQW now in a lot of danger. Heal comes on down, flash away. Still another perfect execution. Damage onto YCX. And True Shot Barrage even tags XQW. Nice kill for Karis, who's now in a very scary position in this game. Over comes Monkey. Xiaoyu needs to be a bit aware as the Cullings come on down. In comes the ult. Xiaoyu in danger, trying to get some damage. Does get the kill. Will die for it. Taeyun overplays his hand. Hang on. How much more damage can he do? Not quite enough in the back pocket. Body secured. Relentless pursuit away. Reset through. Second kill for the Lucian. And Taeyun sticks around, tries to keep Xiaoyu interested and dies for it. Bit unfortunate there. I think the Lucian will take a kill in the 1v2 quite happily. Taeyun burned Flash there as well, by the way. Even gets the summoner advantage. And as a result of the reset forced by Monkey afterwards, well, they can look towards the Dragon. Be a big win for LGD on that front, especially as the bot lane play went so against them. Karis getting that kill. They know that this Dragon is happening. Resets come through from Monkey. They've been a little too slow. Not enough members to rush it. Gonna still come over and play this. Simon needs to be a bit wary. Has the Dragon's Rage. Onto the Dragon. In they go. Teleport in. Cube is hit. And he can have bot side as Karis can TP up towards the north end as well. With his own setup. Actually should buy quite a lot here off the kill he got bot. So have a look at this play. It's Karis. Does get stunned up. But he's caught in Twilight Shroud and overcomes Vampire. He doesn't get interrupted by the Mega Blaze kick. And then they turn onto YCX after SQW flashes away. Solar Flare comes on down and they get the kill on the Milio. In the mid lane, Taeyun decides to hop on forwards. Knows he's got Monkey coming, but just eats the whole culling. I think you just have to flash out of the culling. Genuinely, if you want to keep playing that, just flash out of the culling. Xiaoyu nearly outplays as well. Just needs another cooldown or two and maybe has it. Oh, Evelyn main. That's why I can't see you on the screen. Very true. We keep the cams off in cast to keep it a little bit more professional looking. Well, cams will be back on. Out again. I'll wave hi to you later. Don't worry, I'm a real person. Not too much to be seen here. A bit of a trade from Sassy and Cube, but no one really winning out on these ones anymore. Cube should be level 11 shortly off this wave. Karis getting highlighted here. In a great position on this Akali. W has a better team fighting comp. Yeah, ish. Solar Flare onto XQW. I think this is more where they have more power for me. Turning up to the Akali with the Viego and the Leona and just resetting. Because what they've got is a reset comp. They want to kill first target and get Viego and Aatrox resetting. Put down the gravity field. Prevents Climb from getting towards the turret. Can't quite claim the whole thing. But a good chunk and a third kill to this Akali. Oh boy, 2k difference in mid lane. Wee woo, wee woo. Akali online alert. Mid lane. At the very least, this Lucian's in a good spot. 2 kills early, up a bit of CS. Maybe looking towards top lane here. They're dragging everyone around. Vampire needs to be a bit wary. He's about to get jumped on. Does dodge the Sonic Wave. Gonna get kicked away. Will flash as the ward hop came down. Plays out the control ward. So 75 gold for the price. All while Monkey finally returns the favor of the early invades. X flashing forward. XQW needs to be really aware. Solar Flare comes on down. Nice layering of the CC. Gravity field's about to time out. There is no cook or kick, remember. So the perfect execution can come on down. True Shot Barrage is there. Karis now in danger, but he's got Conqueror stacked. In they go, trying to get the kill, but he flashes away. Does so much work, still alive! And gets to back out Conqueror value. Absolutely insane. It's a True Shot Barrage that picked up XQW. How is Akali up 30 CS? Because XQW's been murdered 3 times in a row in a side lane. He's not been alive to pick up farm. Nearly at that Shadow Flame now on the Akali. Oh boy, and that's a, yeah, 35 CS lead in the mid lane. Plus all the kills. 0, 3, and 1. Just lost every wave in a side lane, it's felt like. 4k lead. Yeah, more like 3. Actually, let me read my scoreboard right. Towards WE. That'll be significant. Sup, Gap. I mean, Vampire's having a really good game here. These roams have been fantastic. This, to start with, basically cleared out the ward, pretended to back away, and then goes, I think he might be there. They just spot XQW. In they go. Zenith Blade, Shield Bash, Solar Flare. Wait on the gravity field of timeout. Karras will hop back in. And then remember, there's no Dragon's Rage on this Lee Sin anymore. He doesn't actually have that much CC remaining. Two-Shot Barrage picks him up. Karras a little bit annoyed he burned the perfect execution there. And actually went perfectly executed towards Climber, which got a bit dicey. Flash for Flash. Stays alive. Conqueror value way too high. Nice for Taeyun to pick up the kill, actually. Evens it up a little bit against that Lucian. Karras going to get that turret topside. Zones off a whole wave. I think he's going to be in range for the local gold. Is. Nice work. Picks up the second wave. And can reset with a 2.5k gold lead. That's got to be Shadow Flame, right? Dragon started. It's already potentially sold point for W if they can claim it. TP from Karras is available. In he goes. Herald dropped. Karras watching for an angle. The culling comes down to Monkey, takes about 20% of his HP, and Dragon secured. Now looking for the fight afterwards. Those Qs pop the World Ender. Karras using the Herald as a delivery system. Gets the knock up into the backline. YCX gets hit by the perfect execution and goes down. Karras gets that one. Still got an R2 to work with. Herald used as a battering ram. Should allow Q potentially to get some value done on this bot side. So just pick up the flower. Onto the wave. Okay, fine. Viego yells, there's the flower. Well done, Monkey. And they should get another turret here. As Karras finds his 4th kill. Where's your Dark Seal, Karras? Dragon was at least picked up by LGD, but you are going to get the charge topside. Nice work. First proper charge, actually. Does a lot of damage out of that tier 2. Gonna chunk up Shower, as he comes out. Will he catch him? No, he doesn't. He's far enough aside. Nicely done. Does clip the wave, though. Feats of Strength still picked up by WE, though, because they have got the early objectives with the Herald and the early Dragons plus the fight. So they have got the upgraded boots. That means Akali has actually got the Sorcerer's Shoes upgraded as well, which is very scary. And now the problem is this Akali will be able to 1v2 pretty much anyone in a side lane. The only person I think is going to be slightly problematic is Sassy, because he'll have enough HP with the shields as well on the Fimbulwinter to be not that easy to burst out. But the other thing is obviously this Lee Sin hasn't really got anything happening early. I know Climate is a big Lee Sin player. Big Lee Sin player. And we have seen a few successful Lee Sins. JJ has done it. Someone did it the other day and absolutely off. It was the lethality Lee Sin. Went like, it was full lethality Lee Sin. I'm talking opportunity on Lee Sin even. It was pretty mental. I can't remember exactly the player that did it, but it was very, very successful. Taeyun hops forward, gets a little bit of an auto off to take a bit of a chunk there, courtesy of the culling. Picture-in-picture replay, yep. Relentless Pursuit empowered by the Cozy Campfire. And some warm hugs, obviously. Ensured that Taeyun ate a lot of damage there in the mid lane. WE in a very happy position in this game, as you can see statistically. Vampire has his Eclipse proc, but that's about it. Towards bot side river. Go WE. Atakan's down there. And a potential world, they could look to push that at some point. So you may want to play around the dragon instead. There you. Potentially being jumped at. Misses the Mystic Shot. There's a Relentless Pursuit away. Vampire hit by the Sonic Wave. Kick back towards the rest of the team. Taeyun trading out with Climber. That'd be Vampire dead, you have to imagine. Nice little play there from the side of Climber. No flash required. And they might be able to look at this mid-tier 1. Two-shot barrage does tag Xiaoya there. Decent amount of damage. Monkey also around. So in the end, it might just be a kill for very little. Gonna try and push onto this mid-tier 1. Culling now back up and available. Can look to get some damage back onto Xiaoya. Milio will pull out the last breath. Buys a bit of time. Not last breath. That's Yasuo ult. We saw that yesterday from Duenby. It's Breath of Life. That's the name of Milio ult. Slightly different. I feel like Milio having last breath and ultimate feels wrong thematically. Just suddenly jumps at people and says, I have had enough of being a healer. Punts someone into the sky. Drop kicks them. Did get that mid-tier 1. That was the price of Vampire going down. But they are going to get out to Khan off this. 50 seconds on Dragon as well. Two-shot barrage. We'll look to ping someone here. TP in. I mean, they're a little late here on a reset if they want to play around this Dragon. Cube needs to be a bit wary. Like to pick up this control ward and does. If Akali dies, easy comeback. Yeah, I think potentially a little bit of that. I still think you've got 2 items on this Aatrox. It's going to be scary. This Viego as well. At 2 items that completed ahead of Climber at level 14 as well. I wouldn't sleep on that either. Get a bit dicey here. Yes, Akali dying would be significant. But there are enough people here alongside it with the 2 items completed on the Ezra, on the transformation on the Muramana. The WE can win the fight with Akali dying early, potentially. They are going to require the Lucian to be very, very scary here to be able to manage it, especially with XQW and Climber a little ways behind their opposite numbers, including not having second items done yet. Vampire jumped on, culling, mediocre. True Shot Barrage is less so. Ow. Stick shots begin to fly. Essence Flux landing. Dragon started. Karis on a flank angle. Is on a ward, so they know he's there. Shuriken flip around. They're tracking him. Trying to anyway. They've got to know where he is. Sassy's warding him off. Does it really matter there? Because they've still got to respect him even if they can see him. Cube jumped on. Over the wall goes Team with the Arcane Shift. Going to get it onto the Baron, or Dragon rather. Sassy will win Bornstorm, trying to buy an angle into the backline goes Climber. But all the while, look at that! Kali still gets there. They knew she was there the entire time, and it doesn't matter at all. Taeyun hops on forwards and helps get another. Beautiful stuff. Dragon secured as well. And all the wards in the world won't save you if the execution is just perfect. Sassy got to try and hold on to this wave. I don't know how easy that'll be. And it won't. Another turret falls. 4k lead now for this Akali. Again, where is the Dark Seal? Come on, Karis. Have a look at the replay, because Karis, they know he's there. They know he's there. The Vampire flashes him, and Karis will flash, Shuriken flip into the perfect execution. Rocket belt, so Xiaoya has nowhere to run. With the Lucian gone and Climber dead to Cube. Where do you run at this point? There's still an R2. Oh, there's not. It's just a Q. Slightly different. And this is looking incredibly difficult. Xiaoya's at least got an Infinity Edge. But I think we're going to match point here in WE's favor. Not seeing many avenues out, unfortunately, for the side of LGD. They try to compete for the Dragon and end up a little bit split off. They even knew the Akali was there. We saw the wards, we saw the track, we saw Karis standing on most of them. It didn't matter. I mean, credits also to Vampire for finding the snap engage that gave Karis the window to pull the trigger with his own flash, but still. Lee Sin kick is kind of invisible. Yeah, we've seen like one good kick. That's it. Got the mid-tier ones. You know, could be worse on that front. But, you know, that's the play you've had. And now the Viego is up. God, 60 CS plus. You're up 70 CS as an Akali. Yeesh. On to Baron we go. Vampire and Karis warding off. Sassy stepping on in, they turn around, and this Ooh dear, forced to run away. Can Blazing Stampede and the Baron stop for a moment here? What do they burn for that? True Shot Barrage? Not the worst. Karis still on the flank, still warding. Back to the Baron we go. Come on, gotta do it again, folks. Find your way over to this Baron or lose it. Sassy down a third of the HP. Vampire looking to body block. Where, oh, where is Kara? Shuriken flip wide. Hang on, might be able to jump on him. Try to find the kick into the wall. Still got the ability to go golden. Does so. Baron secured. Can look to potentially re-engage. And helps get that initial reset. Now they're running for more. They land the Sonic Wave. A Monkey into the backline. Will break a few hearts. It's not even Valentine's Day. And everyone's in love with the Viego. A triple kill to Monkey, who pounces using the body of the enemy Lee Sin. And just uses it better than Climber was. That's got to feel a bit galling. Baron, a wave. 30-second death timers. It's an inhibitor at least. How much WE want to keep playing? I think they might look for the end here. They're certainly looking at Nexus turrets and rubbing their hands. 10 seconds on Climber. 10 seconds on YCX. They'd have to do a miracle here, and I just don't think that anyone up there is listening right now. You've made your bed. Now lie in it. The third game is WE's. That game wasn't close, says I Am Hot Wheels. I agree. It really wasn't, was it? Style. They've just decided this is the way we mess with it. Okay, Poppy. So you can mess with the entire team. The entire team has dashes. So steadfast presence value is really, really high this game. You are reliant on Karis and Taeyu not falling apart because the damage is better for LGD. Probably scales better on the whole too because I prefer Yone scaling over Aurora. Vi will inevitably start doing more damage than the Poppy post at a certain point. Tristana will be even enough with the Kai'Sa. Let me just check when the last time we saw Climber play was. Climber. Lol. Let's have a look. So he's been on LGDY's youth team for a bit. He was once upon on JJH. The Emperor has indeed got clothes. On to the riff we go. Got my tea. And therefore, I'll leave you with the crowd. Nothing super scary here at the level 1 by the looks of it. A little bit of a chunk onto Climber. So someone looking in somewhere around. Have I seen any wards down? Not really. A little bit in the river. That's about it. We didn't miss too much. Phew. I'm back. I am getting hydrated. Thank you, Time Lords. Is LGD using a bunch of bench players? What's up? Well, so Climber in particular has been an LDL player for a while. He's been pretty good. He was on a team called JJ How, who were a non-affiliated teams. They were LDL only. They weren't the academy team of any real LPL team. As they were attached with JDG. No, I think they were their own thing. I never did remember. There was one that was like not what you expected was in fact attached to JDG. So, and you have like a few like that. So Royal Club is RNG's academy team. Or was for a while. And obviously RNG took on the mantle of Starhorn Royal Club, which was one of the real OG big teams in the LPL. And they kept that branding down in the LDL when they renamed to RNG. NIP, no, yeah, yes, possibly. Actually, that's the one. But yeah, he was an NIP academy for a little bit as well. But Climber, big AD skirmishing jungler, but that was just, that's a lot of your junglers down in LDL. And he has been up and down a little bit here in terms of where he's been playing. So obviously Nio replaced him and he came back in.
Played a bit of the split 2 placements for LPL. Played split 1. Nio came in as well. It's all been all over the place for him. I wonder how he did in 2023. It was the one where I really remember him being quite good. Maybe less good than I remember. He had a very good split 1 in the end. Wukong in particular. 5-1 on that one is Vi. Also, I think his Vi went undefeated for a lot of that year as well. So back in the day, Climber was a big Vi player. Very, very successful on it. I think he went to be like 13-0, something like that in 2023. I remember him being very, very scary on that champion. See how he does that. So, has been playing for LGD. He's just not been confirmed as the starting spot with Nio also being around. He's the one playing, though, this series. And there's been a little lackluster in games 1 and 3. Had a very good MVP-worthy Pantheon game in game 2. Invade onto the Raptors here from Monkey. Return fire onto the Gromp on the other side. Actually, what am I talking about? Climber's on blue side. Monkey's on his own Raptors. I'm telling lies. I apologize, guys. Done that a couple times recently. Oh, they're invading. It's like, no, they're not. It's their jungle. What are we doing? So I need to ask a question. What? Boots is 50 to 60 move speed plus magical footwear extra 10 move speed. Fast. How fast would these boots be? Except upgrade boots with upgrade boots. I don't have to do maths. It should be 70 move speed. I mean, it'll be fast is the answer. I mean, the other thing is you've got to remember that move speed does get diminishing returns in League post a certain point. You can't just like, it's not like a linear scale for move speed. But it should be plus 70. Yeah, exactly. How fast that actually makes you move in game is a bit more of a complicated question. LGD wins early. It's okay. It's a 2 for 2. Yeah, maybe. YCX stepping on forwards on the Braum. Doesn't really get what he's looking for. Vampire here on the Relevant, matching that roam. Trying to get SQW a bit of shove here, but the Between Worlds now comes on down. SQW going to be chunked out pretty hard here. Not too much more seen. The ult burn. XQW going to have to reset here. Doesn't have the TP. I think the Aurora can stick around. Doesn't have that much mana to work with, but hey. XQW forced to stay. Last chapter complete for Karis, which is a good back for him. XQW here. Cannon wave, and I think the Aurora will be back in time to pick up the majority of this wave. We'll lose like a minion, maybe 2. The end of the world. Yeah, should be in time for the cannon. Oh. Don't mess it up. Oh! Didn't see it. Think he's fine. Single melee minion. Which one, African or European boots? Well, what's the in-game walking speed of African or European boots? That's a good question. I don't know that. Wah! Monty Python, the Holy Grail reference goes hard. I appreciate you, J-Borg. Stupid didn't even see if he got the cannon. I know, right? I know. I'm upset. Kind of weird ult. It earned them a lot of wave pressure and forced XQW to back on a time he wasn't very pleased about. He ends up down about an extra 5 CS or so, sort of, as a result. So it's kind of fine, and the cooldown is short enough that Carrot's happy to get that chunk and force a slightly delayed reset. It couldn't basically contest the wave in the way he was hoping. Karis finds himself actually in a pretty good position here. Climber's got level 6, though. Now you can start looking for those big vials early. The only thing is Monkey actually done a pretty good job here of getting an extra 10 on CS. There's Tarek not this popular. Oh yeah, good call on the potential engage support. It's fair. Sorry I missed that, Zoe. Probably Merc Treads or Steel Caps. Yeah, that's what we're going to be. So with this game, I think LGD is barely any engage. They've got more than you think. They got more than you think. So I think Vi plus Shen plus
Yone is a pretty solid engage core. It's a bit single target. Basically, Vi with Shen on can just dive into the backline really, really aggressively with a shield on top. Or you can do the same with Yone. It's a little bit telegraphed, and I think WE have more options to manage it. But they do have engage. It's just a lot of ults you have to blow to do it. It's not like it's just a short cooldown on like a Zenith Blade or a Hook. Okay. Here we go, topside. Q about to get dive, but Taeyun and Vampire waiting. They want to try and turn this around. They need to back off to LGD. Are they now in danger? Shattering Strike just wide. Q over the wall. Explosive charge on Q. They do get a plate at least, but Taeyun here trying to bait that one out. Monkey might not get a shove onto Climber. Shoves him into the wall away from that Baron pit. Nice knock up after. Lots of damage onto Climber, who can't get over the wall without the flash. Half his HP down. Taeyun's looking to get the heal out as well. I don't know whether they need to be that afraid of a Kai'Sa with just a half-bound axe, but either way, additional summoner. Not awful there from WE. Rubs were taken by LGD, worth noting. Early dragon for WE as well. Don't think the heal was warranted. I don't think so either. I think you were fine. Either way, Vi down her some key summoners. You got the heal of YCX. Karis, it's a bit of a Q3 chunk there. Bit annoying for him. Be a bit aware of a potential unbound soul angle here. He lands that. He just does this. Yeah. Karis flashes, goes across the veil, stays alive. You had to be way more wary than that. That's really disappointing from Karis. There's another Q3. He can just Q3 you again. Oh, Karis. Well, that's just undone all your hard work in the laning phase. Nice chunk there from XQW. Gets the reset and the Ludens. That's why you wanted to stick around, but you've got to be able to dodge that Q. He gets hit by like 2 Qs in a row. Nearly gets him killed. Taeyun dodges a fair amount of damage there. Xiaoye looking to try and get that plate damage down. Can't quite. And it was down 20 CS, evens it up a little bit there by that good play on Karis. He's not going to hit a bit harder again with that early Ludens. Does seem to be the build of choice right now on the Aurora in general, especially with nerfs to things like the Liandry's. Going into this game as well, you want to be able to pop someone important before things like Shenalts come on through, so slower fights, less your friends. Watch for that Q3 angle. Not too much happening in this early game. Right, our slowest by a fairly significant margin. Vampire goes full 10. Weirding lands onto XQW. Eats a bit of damage there. Anyways, YCX also turns up and says, "Stand behind me!" Puts up a fireplace. Nice and warm there. Very methodical game, maybe the way that's we'll put it. Well, that's exactly true either. There's been some interesting decision making. Smite. Playing by Climber. Then looking did Monkey. When's Harold? 2:41, minute and a half until Dragon. Gonna pick up the Krugs and then reset, I would imagine. Look at this Dragon. Second Dragon for WE would be nice. They've got them pretty early on. XQW needs to be a bit wary here. May need to Q3 away. Does towards the wall. Unbinds the soul. Magna Storm down. Doesn't really get that much value. Shining Strike into the weirding. Ult blown there. Nice decision making from XQW to survive. He is a known Yone player. Plays it well. And all while Xiaoye in the mid lane gets so much value. They abandoned that wave. And huge value for Xiaoye. Wave loss for Taeyun for it as well. Oh, WE. Bit of an overplay there for my money. It's a lot of gold for this Tristana, who's got a Cullen inventory as well. He'll be spiking very hard in this mid-game. Trist just got 3 plates in a wave. Oof. 25 seconds on Chem Dragon. Well, XQW should have seen that, I think. Surely he knows. Surely he knows. No, he doesn't. Get stunned with the wall node. Q available quite yet. Fate sealed over the wall. Ah, Vampire went flashing for that. Still, though, XQW with no teleport and a forced reset. We'll be going back there. Are they going to give a mid-tier 1 for this? Surely not. What was the reset timing from Taeyu? No bust shot or anything used. That's just another plate gone. Oh, dear. Xiaoya gets so much value there. Karis goes across the veil. Q available. Won't lead to all that much. Don't even get a plate bar. Oof. And they're not starting Dragon on spawn either. Oh, dear. Really not sure about these rotations from WE. They do this occasionally where they will make a proactive play without that much regard for what it will cost them on a cross map. It worked in game 3 because there wasn't the cross map. Monkey's here. Got the ability to hunt someone away with the Keeper's Verdict. Karis coming on down. They want to play this. 2,000 HP. And look to try and turn this around with the Cease and Desist. Dragon taken with the Smite. Looking to throw down that steadfast presence. Monkey charges that, but will die. Book at the between worlds, though. Taeyu to the back. Like, gets a good amount of advantage. He needs to be very afraid of the Q3 lands. Climber flashing on forwards. Looking for more damage down as he gets another. All the while, Vampire trading up with XQW. Doing some decent damage as Cube as he's all out. Gets another Q3. Sassy doing his best as Vampire in danger. Crashes on down onto YCX as he's also got the Brawn passive running. Cube trading up with Sassy has run out of the all out. Good footwork. Aurora now goes across the veil. Resets coming on through. Weirding down. Pulled back out of that Spirit Refuge. And Karis comes away with them all.
Triple kill. Red team has scored an ace.
Ace and Dragon. Cost them a couple. I think Taeyu and Monkey for the whole Ace and the Dragon will work out just well. I need to see how Karis played out that back end of the fight. Because that is a mean old Aurora now. I thought it was looking pretty dicey there with those health bars. Couldn't quite finish it off. All the while, the Shen was kind of trading with Cube and having an unfun time. Let's have a look again. Because it starts off with Monkey getting pounced on, trying to catch him out as he went to Smite contest, and still wins the Smite contest. Good for him. Then Taeyu free fire in the back end of it all. Monkey can't quite heroic charge out to say he's working a lot of ways. He's done all out. Cube drags Tristana. Big deal. XQW also at about 10% HP as the Between Worlds has already come on through and done a lot of work. XQW tries to run away, but Karis with all the HP available. Another weirding lands. It's pretty scary. Climber at least picks up Taeyu. So had to burn the additional flash. Cube flash for his own Q3. Couldn't quite do it, but YCX is dead and left to the wolves. Karis gets to step on forwards here. Weirding into the Untouchable Strikes Part 3. No amount of Twilight Assaults or Grass procs will keep Sassy alive there. Now Cube is 202, 302 for this Aurora. Yeah, scary position. Monkey, potentially looking at Xiaoya here, gets the Smite slow. In goes Taeyu, buster shot out, flashing away, stays alive. Keeper's Verdict, spun up. Gonna potentially run back onto someone else. They'll get the flash and the buster shot there. Taeyu did ult for it, but Xiaoya gonna train you looking for this turret. Gonna have some damage onto Climber, clear it out the wave. Tier 1 in mid lane does look like it's gonna fall on another wave or so, but nice attempt onto Xiaoya at the very least. Misei Shimamura goes, let's go! That's how I imagined you sounded. That probably is unnecessarily low energy. I want to yell on the microphone, because that was all caps. First message. Welcome, by the way. Nice to have you in here. Sassy having an unfun time currently trying to clear the wave. Does manage to do so. Titanic Hydra does suddenly change Shen's play patterns a lot. Karis gets across the veil. Does get picked up there by that Q3. Nice angle from XQW. Oh, another charge onto Sassy, onto Xiaoya. Knock up as well. Runs away. Red buff slow. Plus needs an extra buckler. And the red buff brings him down. Monkey with the solo onto the Tristana. Bot side. Karis now in danger himself, though. Needs to be aware. Will back away. Turret looking like it'll go the way of LGD here. All the while, Herald being taken by WE. First turret secured by LGD. Taeyu, be able to cycle through this passive. Should be able to secure this, I would imagine.
As Monkey hits the eye, charges through, gets that. We'll lose a Gromp for it. Possibly a blue buff as well. Vampire. Gonna find XQW. Shattering Strike. Crash down away. Blue buff also nabbed. Minute till Cloud Dragon. That'd be Soul Point. Full WE. Let's have a look at the replay. So basically, Monkey leaves. Clears the wall and just pretends he's gone. Says you're going towards Herald. Just sits there. Oh, Xiaoye, you dumbass. Monkey reads him like a book. That's my kind of gremlin jungle behavior. Eat a buckler. "30 seconds on Dragon. Mid lane turret still stands. Herald now drops. Xiaoye needs to be a bit wary. 2 items completed. Worth noting that. This mid lane turret likely falls here. Not much to be done. They'll throw down an explosive charge on the cannon minion. But there goes tier 1 mid. Feats of strength picked up by W with the early dragons and that Herald alongside the kills. XQW needs to be a bit wary there. The footwork healing. And a Q3 gives him an angle. When looking at Monkey, can't quite secure the Scuttle Crab or a knock-up. Dragon spawning in 3 seconds. The river is WE's. Wave shoved. QW looking for the flank angle. Has the fate sealed. Last cone available. All WE. Potentially looking at XQW if he oversteps. Does not. Dragon started up now.
Reset from Sassy. Will want to probably complete an item here. Gets the wave shove. Can teleport back in. With that stand united. XQW's TP'd up. Instead of just giving this one up. They're saying we don't want to play for it. Soul Point.
Secured. They're TPing 2 people and they really want to hold that turret. I don't know if they need the TP2 there. They want to play for that turret instead. Okay, everyone's roaming. Ah, Atakan. That's the idea. Okay. Threaten turret and Atakan. Shen's on the other side. Can come in with that stand united as we were talking about. Weirding comes through onto XQW and ow. This Aurora hurts right now. Vampire steps on forward. Heroic charge in. Magnet Storm into the Glacial Fissure. Buys a bit of time, but a knock away will maybe hit some people. Monkey needs to back on out. Into the backline they go. Taeyu's in danger. They've gone really deep on this. Killer Instinct down. But then comes a Vault Break and Taeyun goes down as well. It's a double kill. Onto Xiaoye. Between worlds goes Karis, but Xiaoye's going to continue hunting. Need to be a bit wary. His Vampires are caught on the wrong side of it. They can turn to Atakan themselves. WE just gifted a triple kill onto this Tristana. What? Way too deep. That's Atakan and a gold lead suddenly to LGD. Tristana's 2.3k ahead out of nowhere. Observers were a bit lost in that fight. I don't blame them. What on earth was happening? How did that happen? Let's have a look again. So Monkey tries to jump forwards here with the squad. They're trying to threaten for this tier 1. But the problem is their team's not really there. And they go in and that Glacial Fissure buys a lot of time. Stand United comes on through. Monkey misses the Keeper's Verdict. And the team gets horribly split. Into the backline they go. They pick off one. Taeyu's now split off. Who's looking to ult in. Has to ult out. Can't run far enough away. And now the team is in a 3v5. And Sherry just gets to run at people. Oh, what a disaster. From 1 and 2 to 4 and 2. That could really harm them in the long run. Still, they got Soul Point. They can do a fair amount of work here. They're not out of this game or anything, but giving up 1,000 gold leads now to LGD kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. This Tristana is going to be public enemy number 1. Will need to die. Nearly at a third item. 2.5 minutes till Dragon. And that might be a win con here. The WE are happy to look at. A lot of value to Kaiser, to Rel, to Poppy even. Aurora. Pretty much everyone. Oh god, Cassante. Ooh, Cloud Soul. Scary. Sassy in danger. Ah, dear. He's dead. Nowhere to run. Flashes away to no avail. That'll leave this bot lane turret open to the wolves. Babs the bunny rabbits. Killer bunny rabbits. Climbs around.
My heart is not built for sports. I feel so sad for the losing teams. Oh, not the best of sweetheart. The luck of the choke point disjointed fight. Yeah, basically. I guess it's one damage comp that can win. That's one way a damage comp can fight versus an engage comp. Again, like, you do have some engage, but it's reliant on Climber and XQW and Sassy all combining their powers, right? Braum is conditional. It's easier for WE to make a play. I'll say that. Cube. Q3 on 2. May need to go all out here at some point soon. W buys some time, trying to drag someone towards the wall. Footwork burn, flash out, Cube survives. Climber over the wall, still going for this. Gets a bit of damage, all out goes Cube, continue to hop away. Gets to W again, another Q lands, continue to hop. Q3 available. Climber gets an additional ult, but... don't know about that one. Ult down, 20 seconds until Soul. Yeah, Cube's gonna be down the flash, but can teleport in. I think Climber being down the cease and desist is more significant here, no? We'll see. Down we go. See what this Vi can do without the ult. Cube also down flash. Maybe important. Karis looks to go between worlds. Xiaoye eats so much damage. Karis goes golden, immunes to Fate Seal. Flash on out of the attempted Shadow Dash on the back end. They're trying to kill SQW, has his shields galore, but into the back end goes Taeyun, trying to blow up Xiaoye, who buster shots him out. Doesn't get the kill he's looking for. Xiaoye and XQW survive, but now Sassy pulled back by the Q3 and the mount up. Gonna look for that Shen, who tries to get a little bit of damage done with the Titanic Hydra. Won't manage to do it, as SQW will at least be able to teleport back in. Gets the reset off. LGD, look for it. And Karis immunes pretty much every damn ult thrown. Now how do you play? Soul is WE's, no doubt about it. Unless you find the miracle steal, and they're just saying, no, it's not happening. What was that, says Ferguson. Incomprehensible team fights his hands. Yeah. That one is, let's have a look again. It's basically, they go looking at Taeyu, who supercharged away, and Xiaoye is now down. His rocket jump, and Karis looks for the all-in. Goes golden on the combo from XQW. Flashes out from Shen, who kept Xiaoye alive, and they jump on XQW, flashes away, and he's very bloody lucky to survive there as Taeyu goes looking at Xiaoye, and a clutch door flash, and the buster shot keeps Xiaoye alive and prevents the passive block. Otherwise, Xiaoye was dead here, and I think it's going to be a significantly more dangerous thing than just the dragon going down. Sassy will fall at the end of it all. Mid lane turret, of course, already dead. They've killed off the Braum. Explosive charge lands. TP's coming on in. And with a man advantage, I think they can look potentially at Baron here. They've got Cloud Soul. Here we go. No ult on Sassy. No teleport on Sassy. Baron started. You got a Kai'Sa with 2 items. It'll get burned through pretty quickly. Aurora's not bad at objective taking either with her passive. She's not doing it, though. Turn around. Remember, there's still the Keeper's Verdict. Vampire on a flank angle, looking for something. It's getting a little bit dicey, WE. Got to be a bit wary of your health bars. 5,000 HP. Keeper's Verdict expands out. Knocks Sassy away. Doesn't have the Stand United yet to come join in. Q3 on the Climber. Karis looking to potentially steal this. They don't want to overplay. XQW now in danger. Tries to buy some time. Won't quite manage it. They've jumped onto Karis. 1 for 1. The flanker taken out. Now Kyleman needs to find his way in. Won't get there in time. Baron secured. Q buying off the backside as Climber goes over the wall. Don't know about this one. Needs to back out. A 1 for 1 in the end, but Baron was secured by WE, and that is a significantly bigger win. Karis didn't have the Zhonya's completed, alas for him. They lose the mid tier 2. Might do. Here comes Vampire. Hang on. Monkey on the flank angle. Could look to potentially punish here. Watch for the angle over. They go jumping on forward. Steadfast presence prevents Xiaoya from jumping away. Stand United comes on in. Taeyun looking for some ult. Damage down. Trying to get some more work done. Q3 on multiple members. They drag YCX out of position. They've killed off the Tristana. No rocket jump for you. Fails on ignition. And blows up on the launch pad. Sassy Climber running away. But to where? They're on the wrong side of the jungle and Taeyun is hunting. Supercharger down. Get through the pass for the Acathian Rain. Will eviscerate the Vi. Monkey steps on forward, throw down a hammer shock and Sassy on this Shen. You might be a ninja, you can shadow dash all you want. But unfortunately, the only shadows you're finding are the Shadow Realm. Yugi had the right of it. No Millennium Puzzle there to buy you some space. And the heart of the cards dictates you must die. WE head over towards the inhibitor turret in mid lane. And they can look to just end the game here. 10 seconds on Xiaoya. Might just be the inhibitor as a result. Might be a little overbold, but they want to play with the man advantage, and I don't blame them for that. Maybe look to play a little bit slower, join Karis on that bot side. Have we seen one good Shen Vi combo, Shen Yone combo this game? They've all been defensive ults. Onto Xiaoya to keep him alive. And yeah, he's damn scary, but I don't think it's enough. Let's have a look again. Because Xiaoya is about to get jumped on one more time. Flash, charge, into the steadfast presence. Xiaoya can't jump away. Does get the Shen on top of him. But then that's all the ults blown. And it means that Hugh just gets to stand in the front line. And Crescent Topo strikes. Lockets come on through. Vampire with the flash mount up. Beautiful stuff from the Rel. Top side XQW. Got a lot of shields. But Immortal Shield Bow and a Spirit Cleave, still not enough, and Taeyun gets a killing spree, now 3-2, feeling a lot happier about his day. And the outer turrets begin to fall. This Baron is going to earn WE a lot of gold. Maybe we get an Elder flip, but I don't know how much of a flip LGD are going to be able to put up. LGD, another comp which they failed to execute on the play patterns that are available to them. Not the easiest comp to play, but we know what they're supposed to do. Shen on a diver. Set up to murder Karis or Taeyun. Hasn't happened. Had to be defensive pretty much every damn time. Yes, it's Tristana. 4th item completed. Xiaoya has to go off. Did on the Zeri. Hurricane on Tristana. Into a lot of melees. Or at least a lot of short-range people. I can see the value. Maybe that's the way back in. Tristana somehow surviving and playing their way through. I genuinely think the Cloud Soul alone is proving really problematic for Xiaoya being able to space in teamfights properly. Can't run away fast enough, even with a rocket jump. That's an 8k Baron power play, apparently. Good God. One of the larger ones I've seen in my time. 50 seconds on Elder. Do WE want to play around it? They may just say no. LGD here in time. Cube steps forwards. He's very tanky himself right now. Randuin's third. The Thornmail in inventory. XQW. I don't know whether you can be there. How aggressively does Monkey want to play? Flash, charge into the wall, immediately QSS's, flashes over himself. Hang on, they can crash down onto him. Oh, XQW, what on earth was that? The Fate Seal gets him nowhere. 20 seconds on Elder, and you're down your mid laner for 50 seconds. Oh, no. That's it. I'm sorry, you've got to play a 4v5? XQW's had a bit of a mare of a series, it has to be said, but on the Yone that he's supposed to be known for, he goes 0-4. The comfort picks have not been that for him today. Yazir game 1. This game 4. Oh dear. Climb's backing away, doesn't want to play it. Discretion, the better part of valor, apparently. That'll be Elder. And a minute until Baron. LGD have got to somehow weather the storm. I just don't know how that's going to happen. 2.5 minutes to work with on the Elder, and they might just say, yeah, we don't care about Baron. We do care about trying to find and kill you. Fortunately, no one's in that bush. No one overplaying for waves. LGD, aka looking Giga Doomed. Yeah, but you might have a point there.
Inhibitor turret falls in the bot lane. The final remaining one. This will be the last inhibitor. Afterwards as well, you have to feel. Kareth with a TP available will come right back in. Full void staff to their name. I would imagine a sorcerer's elixir too, if I had to guess. Kane's got one in his inventory. Spirit cleave wide. Got to pull the trigger at some point. The keeper's verdict knocks people back. Xiaoye nearly executed. Going to go on into the backline, tries to buy some time. The big thing sealed, but it's just not enough. They don't have the damage. The Elder Dragon roars and absolutely shows his disdain for the last gasp attempt at saving their lives at LGD. Have nothing left to say in this game. Xiaoye alone survives for a moment or two longer. And the Nexus turrets fall. Xiaoye somehow must do something. And that something is jumping into the grave alongside the rest of his team. WE 3-1, move off to playoffs. 5-man Yone finally found by XQW, and it means absolutely nothing. WE with a solid win there, it has to be said. Good for them. Finally got their engage. Yeah, I know. Sad times for them. Does mean LGD languish, waiting for the next split. WE continue their rise, make it to playoffs. What a journey